Yeah.
And
All
I
right,
don't think,
everybody. We are live with Kris. We're sitting here talking about fantasy. We will get to the NBA stuff. Don't even worry about it. We will get to the
yeah,
NBA stuff. We're talking fantasy. We're going to be here for a while, I would imagine. So,
yes, yeah,
um,
we will. It's gonna be a late
it's
nighter.
Saturday night. We are chilling. All right. This is not a random. I'm not linking up with it's one of my best friends in the world.
Yeah,
But yeah,
little man's asleep. He ain't gonna bug us. We good.
Owen's down for the count.
Owen's passed out. We're good.
You know what's crazy, dude? I was
Oh,
going through my old podcast logs just to see how many times you had been on the podcast. Bro, you have been on the podcast, I think 12 to 15 times.
damn. I don't know if that's more or less. Like if you asked me before this pod,
And that's without spitting sports.
oh yeah, true. I
We
probably
did
would have
like
guessed
4
15.
episodes.
I probably
Yeah.
guessed 15. That's probably what I would have guessed.
It's
I
like
mean, that's only the pod
16% of
too.
my
Like,
discography. If I make
well,
it, I got to give you a
well,
cut.
and
Like,
we basically do like a written version of the pod every day, like
yeah,
in that
in the
chat.
group
So it's
chat.
like
Yeah,
we basically are doing one 365 days a year. Like that,
absolutely.
like that shit cracks me up. Like someone in the chats, I don't know, like having a bad day or they're swamped. Like if you go 24 hours without hearing from someone, you're like, the fuck you been, bro? Like
Yeah.
the fuck's going on, bro? Oh,
You
men are
you and
toxic,
you and
bro.
Nia fighting today or what?
Yeah, y'all good over there? Nowadays, I'm talking less and less just because work's got me swamped. But and then that's the weird part about being a dad and like working full time. I get home at like 5:30 and dude goes down for bed at like 6:30. It kind of sucks, bro. I get like an hour a day with him during the week, but it is what it is.
That's why you take them trips like you did last week, man.
Yeah, true. That was dope.
Chill with the
Uh,
kiddos.
yeah, fantasy though. Was that the trade? Josh and Pity for Reek?
I
This was
believe so, and it sucks because
this.
we can't go back and look. I wish they wouldn't do
Yeah, I
that
know. That's what I was trying to do, but I guess you can't.
because that would be cool at the end of the year to go back and be like, "Oh my god, I didn't
Yeah, I
take that
turned this
shit."
down. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would
I know,
love to
bro.
see that. But yeah, our
And that was
trade. I
last
just
week on Tyreek's bye week, right?
Yep.
And then we knew Tua's not eligible to come off until next week.
Yeah.
So it's tough for you. But I will say this is my opinion. I say this because I use the same method on Hess. I think if Caleb walked in there and dropped like a 5.7 for whatever reason, like had
I
one of those
set.
floor games, because bro, what I was doing with, I'm a toot my own horn. I feel like I'm the best trader in the league. Like everyone's got their own niche. Like
Yeah.
lately, like if we're being honest, we can talk about trends. Less so Moody, although Moody's kind of got a squad this year. Like he's like quietly in first, but
Yeah.
in the past he has always been like the late running back. Like late, I'm talking like late, like the motherfucker that's a rookie
Nick
starts
Chubb
as a
rookie year
backup.
late.
Yeah, CMC, same year I think. You as of lately have been the RB0. Like you feels like you've been hitting on every like Chuba's going nuclear. Chase Brown. I was gonna go get Chase Brown too. Because Zach Moss was up in there. I thought Zach Moss might get IR, and then he ended up playing last week, which is crazy.
And then he
Um,
fumbled and didn't see the field
and then
again.
that's what happened with Eric Gray and Tyron Tracy too. I
Yep.
thought when I started Tracy the first week, I thought it was gonna be a dud. And Eric Gray fumbled trying to cross the goal line. Tracy got the rest of that shit.
We're in.
Yeah, so I need Singletary to go down, and I'm chilling. But I feel like if Caleb dudded, you at least might have considered it. But with Hess, so I'm looking around the league, right? Like I'm scanning people who need a quarterback because I have Josh and Jaden. And Drew's like, I kind of get the sense he's chilling. That's the thing with him. There's not too much talk, and he never sends a counter. So there wasn't like any dialogue really.
Yeah. It's just like sending trades back and
Yeah,
forth.
so I offered him a bunch of stuff, dude. I offered some, and I would have said no to some of it probably if I was him. But Josh Allen and Bijan for Jaden Reed and Dobbins. Like I obviously offered Neighbors and Dobbins. Like I'm trying to get the high end, but I thought he might take the Reed and Dobbins before this past Dobbins week. I was offering Josh and Garrett a lot before Garrett's 22 target game. And now I was feeling good, and now they traded for Devontae, and I'm like, which I don't think that's going to hurt him as much as people think, by the way. But
I have a
I think
whole different point of view that I think he's
I'm
getting
the,
more deep targets and
I'm the
touchdown
same.
opportunity.
And more favorable shit, because now you got DA who can line up in the slot, but if someone's going to draw a shadow, they might not shadow at all. But DA's at least going to take some reps with like the Surtans of the world, like the Joey Porters.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's going to help Garrett. If they
just
let him
out of
cook in the
respect.
slot, yeah, for sure. Even if you think he's cooked, he's still going to get that treatment. But yeah, I offered a bunch, man. And Hess is one of the guys that needed a quarterback. And Dak dropped that 3-piece against Detroit. And I was like, that's the window.
Got him.
I got him. And I needed Josh to go off on that Monday against the Jets. He went for 24. And I was like, we're working something out. And we, like, you know about our relationship. It's like, we're boys, but like, it's like, he's a stubborn motherfucker, bro.
Y'all will
Like, he
get
does,
greasy
yeah,
sometimes. I'm
yeah.
not going to lie.
And so I think we've been doing fantasy. What is this, year 10, 11? We've never made a trade, ever. Like, never.
Are you serious, you two?
I think Hess is like the worst evaluator. Like, he thinks a fleece is a fleece when it's not, vice versa. Like, he doesn't see value that
I mean,
we
you
don't
can
see
tell
it
by
the
his
same.
teams most years.
Yeah, that's true. If Hess, if you're listening, it's personal.
Like,
You keep saying legacy year, bro. You're due. You're due, bro. You're due. You got to bounce back.
if Taji can get one, he can.
That's facts. Good shit, Taji. Good dub. I thought I was going to win it all last year, bro. I had a stout. We had stout teams, all three of us.
We
I had a
did.
stout fucking team last year, bro. I think when I played, but Taji got hot. Taji's like that baseball team that gets hot before the playoffs. He's like the Mets. He was the Mets last year.
Dude.
Yeah, he went. I put up a good fight, I think. I don't think I dropped a dud. You went off. You dropped like a 116?
Lost by 30.
Yeah, dude walked out there and hung a
What the
140.
fuck?
Yeah, those suck. Those feel like 10% of you feels okay because we did what we could, but it's like still shitty. Because you're like, damn, if I played anyone else, especially when you don't have a chip, bro, like getting that first breakthrough, like the respect of the league, that shit's big. Yeah, because, 93 Bills, bro. You've been knocking for a while.
God, dog. I've gotten second 3 times.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, when Dak dropped that 3, I was like, I got a partner right here.
And with me, the quarterback thing is a big deal just with the 0 RB strategy. If you don't, I've been getting, I wouldn't say lucky because I drafted well, because I made videos about all the guys I drafted. I mean, I've been preaching them in the group chat. Like Chris Godwin did not think having 110 catches and 3 touchdowns was ever possible.
No, I didn't think I would. He's like like PPR, I'm fine with him. You know, he'll get his like 7 grabs on 8 targets, like modest yardage totals, like 67 to 73. But his like first read target percentage is way the fuck up.
Yeah, and he had more end zone targets than Mike Evans did last year. So I was just like, there's no way. But with the quarterback thing, you have to realize in past years, I have never had a bad quarterback. It's Lamar. It's Joe Burrow. It's all these guys. I always have a top tier quarterback because I think it's super important. But
it low-key is. Like when you ask that question about first round, I still don't think we'll get there in a 12-man.
It's close to me, though.
Because we have an extra flex, too. So, like, you really get punished if you go.
I guess I mean as a whole, like a community.
Yeah. I mean, I bet we start pushing to, like, late second.
Dude, Josh Allen's been going in mocks. If you go, like, with the public and not, like, sharps or, like, people that have been playing for a long time, dude, Josh Allen goes in the second round every mock in the preseason.
Yeah. God,
it's fucking crazy. Do I agree with it? No. But.
I mean, and even me, like, you could argue, I don't know what round I took Jaden. Maybe
it was late.
7, 8 turn.
Yeah.
Top of 8, maybe. I mean, for being real, like, it's really a bad, like, use of assets. Like, if you're going Josh Allen top around 4 and then Jaden top of 8, like, that ain't, 2 of my top 8 picks are quarterbacks, like, if we're being real. But it just so I wanted Jaden in every single league this year. Of course, I didn't predict this, but, like, and who knows if it worked out. I had to trade Bijan fucking Robinson. So, like, we'll see. Yes, we'll see. But
see, in me and you were so different.
If I had Rashee Rice too, like,
yeah, see,
I'd stout.
And that's my thing with Patty. Yeah. That's my thing is that how the fuck am I supposed to know that Hollywood Brown, who I think would be a X factor in the offense with a downfield threat, is going to go out for the season when it was supposed to be a 2 to 4 week injury?
Yeah. I forgot about him. That was crazy. I think I told you before, but I traded Matt Look in our dynasty for his first rounder, and he's in second to last with me. I'm in last for Hollywood Brown, and that dude, he missed the whole year. Matt's like, fuck, let me get that pick back, bro. I'm like, nah. We're good, bro.
Genty,
Yeah.
lock in.
It's me. Me and Landon are like straight tanking. Like trying to, it's a race to 1. I need to get that. So we gotta
Just
see.
setting the lineup with the lowest projection possible.
No, that's the thing. Like my 2 starting running backs this week are A-Chain and Mostert. Like I don't have another one.
You traded him away.
I traded James Cook for A-Chain and a 2. And I know we differ on A-Chain, but like that's pretty good value. Like if you think that A-Chain was cooking when 2 was in, like let's be real.
No,
if he can stay upright, yeah. I was like, he's 2 years younger than James Cook. I'm not trying to win now, anyways, and I get a second rounder. I'll go ahead and ship James Cook out. Plus, like, I don't know, with the Ray Davis shit, I don't know if that dude's gonna go away. He played well, bro. Like I don't.
And I agree.
Bro, that's my biggest fear as a fantasy owner. Like when you own James Cook, and I would say he's established, but like he's never really gotten a ton of goal line work. To me, he was overperforming this year. Like he's got a crazy amount of. He had a couple long touchdowns in that 3-tug game.
Yeah,
and he doesn't. It's not like he's out there toting the rock 22 times a week. Although not many running backs are these days. But my worst fear is when you're like starter who's not the upper echelon guy. Like when he comes back, he's getting his spot back. My biggest fear is like that middle range, and the backup comes in and shows out. You're like, man, is this going to turn into a split? Like a Devin Singletary owner.
That's my
same
whole
shit like
point.
That.
That's
I feel like Ray Davis
point with
time.
the no RB.
Yeah,
because I think 70% of the league, their starting running back is one rolled ankle away from splitting carries or losing their job completely.
For sure. And so it's like, why would you not just get the guy who requires a pick 5 rounds later than the incumbent starter, like Chase Brown for Zach Moss, like whatever.
So guys in my 10-man are over here he and ha-haing at me. And then 2 weeks later, Tony Pollard, Brian Robinson, and Chase Brown looks like a fucking trio.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I told him to wait and see. I told him to wait.
It's always a long game with those guys too. You just got to pray like you do enough the first 7 weeks to like stay afloat.
Yeah, that was me. I was down by like 110 points after week 3. I put up a 77 spot in a 10-man full point. And I was like, it's time for me to give up. Like, I got to fucking shut this shit down.
As much as you remind yourself the season's young, like you start checking that PF, you're like,
yeah,
we can't be losing any more ground, bro.
Then I would
like,
hit the weekend.
Last week. I'm like, damn, like I'm sorry.
I'd hit the weekend and start giggling a little bit, and I'd be like, bro, the season ain't even close to being over. You get a couple tank weeks from other guys, then Nico Collins goes down. That's 30 points off somebody's team every week.
No joke. Yeah.
And I caught him in 1 week. I caught him. I put up 130, caught him already.
That's what I'm saying. I dropped 119 last. I'm like, all right, I'm like 40 points out.
Yeah.
We got like 8 weeks left. Yeah. I'm chilling.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm ready,
days, bro. I got Nico in the dynasty too. So when he went down, I was like, I was starting him like I had to, but I'm like, team tank,
he's the wild card that's going to win you some games. He's going to pull the Lovie Smith in Houston where they fucking won that last game.
Yeah. Well, and that's what like long term too. He's still 25, so it's like I got all these contenders in our dynasty league trying to trade me multiple ones. I'm like, nah. One, like what do 2 ones from a 12-win team do for me? Like have you played dynasty yet?
No, and I wanted to ask you how that works. So do y'all pay every year and then the winner gets the payout?
Yeah, it's like one of the leagues we do. It's
that's
$100
crazy to me just because like I would try to win every year, and I think that's what other people are doing because if I pay,
that's
I'm going
the
to try to
weird
win.
part. Like I'm paying to tank right now. Like I'm like,
but you could win 5 straight years in a row.
Yeah, but it's like you really do have to like. You got to be honest, bro, with your team and yourself. Like if I showed you the top 3 teams in our league, you'd be like I have to tank. There's no, like, you don't want to do like the Saints, like pushing chips in, like, and trying to go fucking 8-6 and like squeak it. No, like this one dude has CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp. Let me pull up his team right now. Let me read off this team, bro. When I saw this, I'm like, all right, we're going backwards. Like we're
yeah, it's time to take a step back and look in the mirror.
I've got Nico, I've got Odunze, I've got T. Higgins, JSN, Devontae Smith. Like I've got Young. They just ain't ready now. And I needed a dude at receiver. And I traded Rashad White for Nico Collins straight up in the offseason. That's probably the biggest heist in our league so far.
That's when you don't watch football games.
Well, everyone got scared by Diggs. everyone got scared by Stephon. They're like, he's going to be the number one. I'm like, I didn't watch his tenure, I guess, towards the end of Buffalo. Like, Nico is that dude, bro. Like, Nico's, we talked about it in the chat.
I
Nico's
was
him.
on total opposite of that. I thought that
And I was like the only
Stephon
guy.
did the 3.
Nico got passed around like candy in this league. Haas traded Nico and 2 1s for Jamar, which even that's like, fuck. You know?
Yeah, like Jamar's amazing. Don't get it twisted.
But like 2 1s attached, like, that's like closer to a 1-for-1 than people would like to admit. I'd still take Jamar. But
yeah.
Let me find this team, bro. Hang on. There's a couple teams. Let me find this one.
That's hilarious.
All right, bro. Josh Allen, Kyron Williams, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison Jr.,
Jesus,
Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah,
Jesus.
like you see, it's like, okay, there's no point for me to try to win, bro.
Dynasty League is so funny. They kept making they were making jokes on CMC because Ricky Purcell recovered from a gunshot wound before he came back from his fucking.
Yeah, and then like Haas's team is solid, but he has no picks. Like all his picks are gone.
He's the Rams.
Yeah,
you got to throw all the chips in.
Burrow, Monty, Dobbins, Jamar, DK, James Cook, Deebo Samuel.
So what?
Nick Chubb.
What the fuck does he do on draft day? He just
they just chill, bro. It's crazy.
Just chilling for 2.5 years on draft day. Just like, I got my team. Fuck.
And there's one other team. All right, this one's Lamar, Mixon, Kamara, Amari Cooper, AJ Brown, Travis Kelce, Tony Pollard, Justin Jefferson. That's Devontae Adams. Yeah, Dalton Kincaid. That's the other one. There's probably like 3 that are running away with it.
I would love to do a dynasty league. I don't know. I just haven't done it. I would love to, though. I would like to get into another format of fantasy rather than your traditional shit.
Yeah. No, it's cool, honest. Like getting a wheel and deal picks, too. It like makes you feel like a GM. It's pretty cool.
And in that league, I would be so much more open to wheeling and dealing. In our league, the buy-in is half a band.
Yeah, no, that shit's fat. That's what I'm saying. I don't treat this league with, it feels like a fake league. Like
that's what I'm saying. That would be the issue.
It's like on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to tank, it's easy. Like I'm not, like people send me offers because they know I'm losing. Like Stone, I just sent him Baker for a second because he needed a quarterback. I was like, done. Like I'm not even thinking about done. Like give me all the picks. Like I just want more dart throws. After Carson Steele first game, I got a 2nd-round pick. Like, and he didn't play it anymore. Yeah. I was like, done. Like, take it. Done. And then they signed Kareem Hunt the next week. So I got a free 2, basically.
I'm sorry, man. I'm not investing in a stocky white dude with long hair at running back, bro. I'm not. I can't invest. Not the aesthetic I'm looking for. It's really not.
But Dynasty 2, like, bro, so it's only rookies when you draft every year. It's 3 rounds of rookies. Bro, like, when you get to, like, pick 5 in the first round, it's like flip a coin, bro. Like it's all fucking dart throws. And like last year was different too, because you had like 3, at least what analysts thought were dudes. You had like Marvin Neighbors, Odunze. And then like I like Jonathan Brooks too, like long term. But after that, it's like Ladd McConkey, Trey Benson,
Malachi Corley.
I guess Brian Thomas, like
I would have taken Malachi probably 3rd round.
Yeah, AD Mitchell, like it dries up quick. So like if you ain't picking at the top of 1, and that was last year too. Like that class was stout. You look at this year coming in, it's like probably Gentry and the Arizona guy, McMillan.
Yeah.
And then Travis Hunter if he decides to play offense. But yeah, it dries up fucking quick.
That's crazy. Yeah, I wanna get into I'm gonna try to get into a dynasty league next year or some sort of like vampire league or something different. Just for a fun league.
Yeah, we could run our dynasty next year, like $50, like something light.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm not throwing it in. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, guys. I think it's time, Kris.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Our baby is coming back. What is it in 2 days or is it on the 22nd?
It's 22nd. It's Tuesday. Tuesday's the opener.
22nd on Tuesday.
It's Boston.
Aren't the fucking Lakers playing on the opening day?
Yeah, I think it's who is it now?
Is it? It's Nuggets and Lakers, Suns, something like that.
I know Boston's playing. I think the Knicks are playing.
Oh God, fuck!
Why do I not know this off top?
Yeah, we came prepared.
Yeah. We're hella
I
prepared.
don't get the
As
Lakers
always.
thing. We'll get to it. All right. So with this preview, Kris, so in each conference, and I'm gonna go on a rant real quick after I do this. Because the West, man, I have a rant on the Western Conference this year.
Yeah, real
So
quick. It's Knicks, Celtics, Wolves, Lakers.
Wolves, Lakers,
Lakers.
not Bulls,
Yeah,
Lakers.
Wolves. Not
My
Bulls.
God,
Bulls get
if they
opening day
put
game.
the
We got to
Bulls on my
reevaluate.
fucking screen, that's one team I will not have a comment about for the whole season. I'm letting everybody know. I will know nothing about Bulls basketball, probably outside of a Colby White stat line.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's my dog. Go Heels.
that's about it. But so on this pod, we're gonna do some. We're gonna talk about playoff teams. I did 8 in each conference. We can do 10. I just want to hear your bottom 2 of each because I think the bottom of these conferences are actually really bad, and I'm not joking. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go through like MVP and all that stuff. But yeah, so let me go on my West rant real quick. We're gonna start with the Western Conference.
All right,
Listen,
let's do it.
everybody is talking about this. I understand what the West has been like our whole lives. It's been the better conference. It's deep. It's hard. Ugh. Dude, I am sick. This year, I don't want to hear anything about the Western Conference being good.
I hope Tony's listening to this. He's about to lose his fucking mind.
He can lose it. This is the only reason why. Okay, so let's go. Let's just name. I have the teams here. Okay, Minnesota, great argument. Dallas made the finals. Denver has the best player in the world, but still with Denver. By the way, hold on with them. I know they got the best player. I'm not saying they're ass.
Yeah, no, we'll be on the same page with
But
Denver.
they have lost some of their aura there, and they're pulling their weight to me in the Western Conference. And then OKC. Those are 4 teams. Okay, let's go through this. Let's play a game of name more than 6 Sacramento Kings.
Okay.
Can't name more than
Kings.
6 because I did it. I had to Google.
Kings. We got DeMar,
Yep.
Sabonis,
Yep.
Fox,
Yep.
Keegan Murray,
Mm-hmm.
Keon Ellis.
See, how are you going to pull Keon Ellis?
Well, he played a little bit of guard last year for him. He's playing good ball.
That is
Trey Lyles. Good. We got 6.
Trey Lyles. Yeah, but do you see my point?
Yeah.
It's like if you don't watch League Pass all the time,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
okay. All right, let's go to another team that people are pulling out of their ass. Okay, the Phoenix Suns. Dude, they got a point guard. Fucking awesome. All right, they got a shooting guard that does not want to play basketball. All right, Devin Booker is going through this weird thing where he's having bad playoff series. He's not playing big in the biggest games that he needs to. KD is 36, 35, whatever he is. He is not going to learn how to win a title outside of Golden State overnight. He's almost 40. They were the worst fourth quarter team in the league last year. They got outscored by 12 points every fourth quarter, damn near. All right.
By a mile. Like the gap between 30 and 29 was probably as big as 1 to 29. Like,
dude, they made the Pistons look good in the fourth quarter. Okay, Let's talk about the Pelicans. They got an old 2 guard. They got DeJounte Murray, who has a fake ass. I watched them a lot because they're in the Heat's division. When he played for the Hawks, he has lost all validity when it comes to the defensive end of the floor.
He's not a two-way guy.
He's lost all validity there. When he was in San Antonio, elite defender because he wanted to defend and get on the floor. Now that he's perceived as a star, he doesn't give a shit about defense. Your best 2 players are Zion and BI, who will play 50 games. I know Zion had he played 70-plus games last year, got hurt in the big one, but BI is going to be gone soon anyways.
Yeah.
And then you want to talk about the Warriors? They got a 40-year-old legend. Cool. They still got Draymond back there and young, unproven talent to me.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a full roster shift too. These big like networks go through, they're like off-season winners and losers, and everyone is, take it from a Sixer fan, bro. Like I feel like they made out pretty well. Part of that's they lost Clay and they replaced him with D Melt and Buddy Hield. And I'm like, I just watched those guys on my team. And Buddy Hield's going to do that shit that he's doing right now, where he walks in the preseason, like the motherfucker goes like 7 for 8 from three, and you're like, yo, we got him. And then he's gonna have like a 12-game stretch where you're like, get this guy off the court right now.
Yeah.
D-Mel, his back can't hold up anymore. He already missed a preseason game the
Yeah,
other day.
this
with
team
back
4 years
tightness.
ago
Yeah,
is
yeah,
with those two guys is fantastic.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, I'm not
out
in
of
on
the
Golden
top
State.
8, I'm sorry, there is nothing that is overly impressive, and this is where somebody is going to try to make a case for the Lakers. All right, and I get it, bro. I love LeBron. I love AD. All right, they're two top 10 players still in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
They can't hold up.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
Because it took both them playing 70 games last year to squeak
thank
in.
you.
Yeah, to squeak in.
To squeak in. All right,
Yeah.
what? Connect is going to make
Yeah.
everything.
And I was about to say, they haven't made drastic roster
Yo,
changes.
Max Christie, what are we
Yeah.
doing?
They gave Max Christie 4 for 32. Hey, shout out to his agent. That's Caleb Martin money.
The fuck are we doing here?
Caleb Martin's at least a proven role player who can play in the playoffs.
Yeah, I want
Mirage or not.
somebody.
Yeah, the Max Christie deal was, I don't get it.
Somebody make a case for more than, to me, 3 teams that can win a title in the West when the whole time, every year we sit here and talk about the West is so hard. It's so hard. And I understand they have very good teams, and the East is star heavy and has top heavy teams. But at the same time, this is the first year I can finally say, yo, shut the fuck up about the West.
Yeah, I think the bottom dwellers in the East are worse than the bottom in the West.
Oh, they're the top 3 picks every year.
Yeah, but I don't think that the West is full of like
juggernauts.
Last year the notion was, oh, there's like 8. I wouldn't be shocked if anyone won any of these series. Maybe that was true last year. I have to go back and look, but yeah, you run down the list now. It's like surefire contenders in my mind: OKC, Minnesota. And I'm saying like who could I see get to the finals from the West? OKC, Minnesota, Dallas.
Maybe Denver.
Too many question mark. Like Denver, they kind of cheaped out with KCP, but they still have the best player in the world. Like if they didn't blow a 20-point lead at home in a game 7, which needs to be talked about a little bit more than it was, but I'll leave that here. They're still.
And that's the whole thing.
I'm not going to count out Jokic. Like still that dude.
I understand the best player in the world bailout. I did it with LeBron a million times. I totally get it. But let me tell you what excuses do I make for LeBron all the time? Other dudes didn't show up. And I promise you, Christian Brown ain't going to show up and be a fucking 20-point per game scorer. The Aaron Gordon contract issues are going to start showing its ugly head during the season if they don't get a deal done. Like all this shit is going to come. Yo, go look at their roster, bro.
Yeah. I don't want to do it.
7th man is Conchar, or whatever the hell his name is. Like, that's their 7th best player. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, this is where Bill Simmons would be like, Chiefs vibes officer. It don't
feel right.
Like, you got Jokic. I just watched them basically lose the first half. It's preseason, right? I'm not going to go crazy, but they're in a fucking dogfight with the Phoenix Suns backups. They're bringing in Russell Westbrook. They cheaped out on KCP. Their owner or their GM in the offseason and maybe KCP is getting long in the tooth. I just watched us play the Magic. He's still a great on-ball defender. He guarded Maxey very well on a couple possessions. He's a spot-up shooter, but like that's a winning player. Like you need guys like that.
Yes.
For a team with the best player in the world in a title window, because again, I don't know how many times you and I harp on this to people listening. Those things are never open as long as you think they are, bro. Like when we were young, we used to be like, like the Spurs, LeBron, the Warriors, get it in your head that like
it's forever.
We got this window forever. Like, don't work like that, bro. So for ownership to cheap out, they got their fucking GM, Calvin Booth, sitting at an offseason presser citing Christian Brown plus minus as to why he's a capable replacement for KCP. Like, he's sharing the floor with Jokic. They're all those. That's always going to be juiced up if you're on the court with Jokic. Christian Brown can't shoot. He can't shoot at all. He cannot shoot. He's not a reliable shooter. I know KCP had a bad playoffs, but KCP is a proven commodity as a shooter. Christian Brown is not a good shooter. When he does inevitably, I don't even want to say go cold. He stays cold. he loses confidence. He's one of those.
He don't look at the
Yeah,
rim.
yeah. His shit starts to
He
wane.
has to get going in fast break, create some hard fought turnovers on
He's a,
defense to
he's
really
a good
spark.
defender. Like he's a gritty nose.
Yes.
Get your nose in there. But like KCP, he could be 0 for 7 and he's shooting the ball. And a lot of people like the threat of you shooting. How the defense treats you as a shooter is just as important as if you take the shot.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like if Matisse Thybulle is shooting 40% for 36 games into the season, it doesn't really matter because your volume's probably 2 a game and nobody's guarding you out there.
Nope.
And guys like that, Matisse, Christian Brown, you miss 2, 3 in a row in the playoffs. The next swing comes to you. You don't look at the rim that one time. Like that's the type of shit that makes half court
I've
offense
always
hard to
said
play.
that.
Like
I hate having a work around him guy on the fucking court.
And in 2024, bro, I know the Celtics are spoiled. There are no teams like Boston where you truly have like a 5-out. Everyone can play 2-way. So I'm
but
not
a
saying,
league average shooter is what I'm asking for.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're never going to have a guy that's deficient on one end because most teams are. But like the days of trotting out George Niang for 25 minutes a game in the playoffs are done. Like that guy gets played up, he will get played off the floor. Yep. Same way on the other side. If you're a defense only guy, same shit. So yeah, Denver cheaping out during a championship window is crazy to me because their owner didn't want to pay deep into the tax. So
yeah, and the thing is people do that championship window shit because we got spoiled. Obviously, the Jordan shit is that. And I think people take for granted the difference between being the best in the world and then being one of the greatest players ever. And they are. Like, Jokic is. But I'm saying the Steph Currys, where they're on your starting 5 of all time.
Yeah.
Like, there's a all-time Kobe pantheon. Ain't like, bro, Kobe's championship window was until years like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Until he tore his Achilles, it was a championship window.
Yeah.
And then they bailed on him.
Yep.
With LeBron, it's been open until probably after the bubble. And really the next year it was still open, but they got hurt.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of done for me. And there's a lot of questions there.
Yeah. Lakers can't win the chip.
They don't have enough complementary pieces. Yeah. Like LeBron and AD are fantastic. It ain't enough.
They're amazing still. I mean, you got Bron with 40-point triple-double closeout games going home. I don't know if that was last year or 2 years ago, but point being, the second they submit on the Russell Westbrook trade, their window was shut. Like, that was it. It's done.
And
like, they traded, it's funny, like all these Lakers, you see those memes on Twitter. They were like, man, imagine if the Lakers could get their hands on some glue guys like Alex Caruso and Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
Like those memes you have to have the middle pieces. You do not win without them.
No.
Like you just like your dudes are going to do their like look at Dallas last year. If PJ Washington doesn't have the series of his life, I think people forget how close that Oklahoma City series was. Right?
Yeah.
Like if Shea doesn't foul him on that double clutch in the corner, and OKC wins that game, and they're going to Game 7, like the margins are so fucking slim in the playoffs. And PJ shot out of his fucking mind, showed up against Boston, couldn't hit a fucking shot. The guy's barely grazing rim. So like, yeah, you got to have the connected pieces, and I don't think Denver has enough of them. Not to mention, again, I don't want to overreact about preseason and summer, the Olympics in particular, but that Jamal Murray Olympic run, like he was one of the worst players in the field, bro. In the field. And then there was like Shams and Woj like dropped you remember they dropped basically the Nuggets were close to getting an extension done. Like they dropped the number, and then it was like radio silence for like 3 or 4 weeks, I think. Yeah. Jamal finally ended up signing it, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like just the vibes. Now, to your point, you got Eric Gordon. They're not offering him his max, which is 4 for $150, I think.
Like, listen to this rotation. Listen to this rotation. This is what I wrote down as their rotation because I don't even know if I came up with 8 people that they could play. That I would play in the regular season of an NBA season, and you can play anybody in the regular season. Yeah. Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Jokic, AG, MPJ, Russ, Zeke Naji, and Peyton Watson. I think that's their top 7. And you know what? I actually like Peyton Watson, by the way.
Yeah, if If he
I
can
like
develop
him.
a shot, yeah, he could be a good player. But there's a lot of ifs, bro. The
I
five,
think he
like, I'm
will
cool with the
develop
starting five.
offensively quicker than Christian Brown.
Yeah, and when you're playing with Jokic too, it always helps to find your footing. Like, you start off as a cutter, like energy guy, like he did last year, and eventually you just got to hope they can shoot. But yeah, to your point, like, I'm not worried about the starting five, at least in the regular season. Like,
no,
Jokic is a wins producing machine. Like, they're gonna be fine.
that's what he's gonna do. It's just like
Yeah.
Luka. I mean, they're just gonna get everybody open and stuff like that. And with Milwaukee and Denver, they're the only two teams the last 8 years because of Giannis and Jokic that have been in the top 10 in offense every year.
Yeah.
Regardless of injury, anything like that, they're always going to be a top 10 offense.
Yeah. Ultimate floor raisers.
So we're just rambling, but I'm going to hone us in. All right. So this is my top 8 for the conference. All right.
All right.
And then we'll go through the teams.
All right.
I got OKC, and this is no order. If you want me to go in order, I'll flip this shit into an order real quick. I got OKC, Denver, the Mavs, Sacramento, Minnesota, Phoenix, the Pelicans. Who else I got on here? The Warriors, barely, and then I have Houston maybe sliding in. And Houston is a fun team. It's also weird how successful they were without Sengun last year.
Yeah, they played some bad competition, but they were winning games. What about Memphis?
They did. Yes. And his name was in trade talks. I want to see how that – I know it's for Kevin Durant. That isn't just a trade talk. That is Kevin Durant, who's perceived in the league as
it'll still take your whole franchise contender.
Well, another thing too is swept in the first round. I do.
Right. Another thing with Houston too is they're not offering extensions right now to Jalen Green or Şengün. So, and they're
Jalen Green's that player. You love him or you hate him, man.
Yeah.
And I think
I wouldn't offer him one either.
The same way.
Yeah, I wouldn't offer him a max either. But
no,
his agent's going to point to the crazy 2-month run that he had last year and be like, "See, anytime a guy's not offered money though when he's eligible, like there's a chance for some weird shit to go down internally.
Yeah,
that we'll
he's asking for a trade in 2 months.
Right.
That's what's going to happen. Mostly in this era, we're asking for a trade. And with Jalen Green, dude, I swear, because I watched Houston games just because I kept betting overs on them. And then they ended up being one of the best defensive teams also, just by the way, towards the end of the year. There is a 10-game stretch where he's the worst basketball player I've probably ever seen. And then there's a 10-game stretch where I'm like, he is the future of the fucking NBA.
Yeah, exactly. He's Jekyll and Hyde, bro.
Dog, this guy and those weird layups he does the Taji triple clutch layup and then does like a reverse at the end of it. It's very odd.
When you can hang that long, it's fine, but
he's
interesting. I mean, even like the Maxey extension that got put on hold for a year so they could clear max cap space. Like Tyrese didn't fuss about it during the year, but he talked about it after we signed him to how hard it was to trust the front office, for Daryl to be like, we'll take.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
like Jalen Green ain't built like Tyrese.
That's what I was about to say. Like most people ain't built like that. They're demanding that money right then.
Yeah,
it would have been deserved for Tyrese.
Jalen Green is a Instagram fashion model.
Yeah,
he's that type of guy. I got a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, he's got some Ben Simmons to him in that regard for sure.
Yeah, he's the guy that tweets out, "I don't care about haters. I got more money than you."
Yeah, exactly. You listed off 9. You didn't list Memphis.
Oh my bad. I left them out. I left out Memphis on accident. I was doing top 8. I really do think I understand Ja is incredible, and I'm a Ja dude. All right,
I love Ja.
I believe in Ja more than anybody.
I watched the highlight reel on Twitter today, a 2-minute vid. I was like, damn, I miss watching.
I look at that roster and
Jaren Jackson's already hurt. Jaren Jackson's already hurt.
Yeah.
So like,
if Jaren Jackson's playing center, bro, we had this talk with AD a couple years back, dude. It's real. All right, you can't have the tall, skinny guy banging around by the rim. You can't.
Yeah. Well, and I think
that's why he's a great rim protector.
That's why they took Edey. I think they're going to try that kind of double bit. Because I think Edey's going to start for them. I think they're going to start both. I really do, bro. I think Edey's starting week 1.
That's my thing.
They're going to play Jaren at the 4. He's going to jack up a lot more threes than he should.
Yep.
That's what they're going to try.
And I know Marcus Smart. He's getting older. He is not what he used to be.
He's not the same player. He's living off reputation right now.
Yes, and it's going to be 2 years before people stop giving him contracts, and he'll probably still be in the league then too. He's probably going to get these vet minimums and just be a leadership guy, but he's going to be begging to get on the court. I'm just not in love with how they look. I think Ja's going to get him to the play-in or even the playoffs. I think he's amazing. Honestly, if you want to be honest, I didn't write him down because I could give a shit about the rest of their roster other than Ja Morant and Desmond Bane. There's nobody else to talk about on that roster.
Yeah, Bane's cold. Yeah. I think they're a top 8 team in the West.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably make the play-in to me. I
think they're better in Golden State. I think they're better in Houston.
Yeah, I think they're better in Houston as well.
Yeah.
I think people make a case for Houston just because of the coach and the talks around them being young and fun.
They've got like to me, I was telling I think Tony the other day, Houston reminds me right now of the Raptors after Kawhi. Like they have they've got a lot of like interesting dudes who teams would
like Pascal Siakam,
like
Fred VanVleet,
yeah, like a contender would probably love to trade for like a Tari Eason to make him like their seventh man. Like they've got a bunch of like interesting dudes who a bunch of teams could poach and they'd make sense on their roster, but together it just doesn't feel like they feel like a frisky 10 seed to me. Like you can't just show up and pencil in a win when you're running through the schedule win-loss, but they're not serious enough for me to ever pick them in a first-round series against any of the teams you named in front of them.
Hell no. And that was the end of my rant on the West. I'm not saying these teams won't end up being good. I think there is about 5 teams that are depending on a trade deadline move for their team to get to the Pelicans are going to make a move.
Yeah.
The Rockets, I mean, it's kind of the Rockets are going to make a move. Guys, we're in 2024. Fucking Kyrie, by the way, we'll get to this. He may not play but 20 games because he's going to protest something. You don't know what the fuck he's going to do.
Yeah, you never know. Phoenix, I think Bradley Beal sucks.
Yeah,
like,
dude, I've been off Bradley Beal for a while.
Sucks is strong, but like, yeah, we dodged. You know, the Heat were in rumors for Brad.
I'll get to the Heat fans when we get to the East.
Yeah, I'll get to in rumors for Brad. Like, I don't think Bradley Beal is. Maybe it's a fit thing. I don't know, but he can't stay healthy. D-Book, I like D-Book probably more than you do, but.
No, I'm a big D-Book guy. No, I am.
It seems like he has a hamstring every year. So, like, I don't know. You might want to bake in 15, 20 games missed. Kevin Durant is not, someone falls into his knee. Like,
yep.
They cannot survive a 6-week stretch if they lose a Book or a KD.
We saw it last year.
Yeah, like, they can't survive at all.
No.
Like,
a point guard does not fix that. Tyus Jones is not fixing that shit.
Did they get Tyus Jones for great value? Yes. But, like, the second they signed Tyus Jones, a bunch of people went, "Ooh, like, is this I'm like, he's a nice player, but, like,
I understand the sentiment.
Because they don't have a point guard at all. So to them, it's like, oh my God, we got one.
And the usage for Booker goes down, and not in a bad way. I mean, like handling the ball a lot instead of getting it in his spots as a shooting guard should.
Yeah.
But Tyus Jones made his rep off being a backup to Ja Morant and bringing a change of pace to the game, settling it down while Ja's going a million miles an hour.
Yep.
That was where he made his rep. It's not off being a starting PG and dealing with 3 Bradley Beal was former elite scorers.
Yeah. And the one thing he's got working and they have working is obviously the guys he's going to be passing to now and setting the table for, like they're significantly better than what he was playing with the backup unit in Memphis. So like, but when you bring in a true point guard, as they've claimed they want, a table setter, you're also taking the ball out of the hands of KD and Book. It's kind of like that, like LeBron theory, not as extreme, but it's like,
he's the system or whatever.
Yeah. Well, people always talk about, I've heard JJ Redick say it some, we want him to play off ball more. Like we don't want him bringing the ball up every time. We want to save his legs. But with LeBron, it was always, well, the best play happens every time when he has the fucking ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how much do you really want Tyus Jones dribbling around with KD and Book? And it's like, it's sort of a weird dynamic, but they haven't had a table setter there since Chris Paul left. So I can see why they're excited
about that logic. When they got Russell Westbrook, if you put that same logic with Russell Westbrook, like, the worst play happens every play with Russ. And
Yeah.
if you thought that Russ was going to give up some sort of usage, nutcase. But yeah, with the Suns, you know how I feel about KD. I'm a generational KD hater. I've been hating on him since like 2012.
That's
So
facts. I love me some KD. Yeah,
yeah,
he's sort of
he's phenomenal at basketball, by the way.
yeah. It's weird. He's like we've talked about this for a long time. Like he's probably a top. I mean, he's top 15 in my book for sure of all time. But he's one of the weird top 15 pantheon guys where he's like best served as the best 1B in NBA history.
Yeah.
You know, like it's weird. Like he's going to retire known as a better player than James Harden. But if I was starting a team, James Harden is a much better floor raiser than Kevin Durant. Like James Harden can set the table and go get a fucking bucket.
Yep.
KD puts the ball in the net better than maybe anyone in NBA history. But at 36, at least, he's not raising your floor. Like they just don't. It's kind of the same with LeBron. Like LeBron's still a top 10 player these days, but he's not able to drive winning with questionable supporting cast the same way that he used to. So it's like
kind of
weird.
sad to see that too.
It's sad and it's weird because you look at them statistically and it's like, well, fuck, Bron's still averaging 27, 7, and 7. But
even in 2021, he had that year where he's dropping 43 on the Lottery Kings.
Yeah.
And they're winning by 4.
Yeah.
But it was fun because he could do it.
Yeah.
And now when I see him, I can tell he's trying to take over. And he's getting to his spots, but it ain't doing what you think it's doing. It ain't the same. Like, damn, bro, I'm kind of
it's hard to
washing
quantify,
machine
bro.
now.
Yeah. It's weird, bro. Bron's crazy though, because he's riding straight intellect. I mean, he's still a freak athlete, but he's no longer,
which is crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy. That dude is straight up 40.
When you see him, he still stands out at 40 years old on a basketball court, which is nuts.
He's just not super human anymore.
Yeah, then you see him against like Anthony Edwards. You're like, oh yeah, that's the LeBron I remember like 20 years ago. I remember that guy. I do. I remember that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about Anthony. What do you feel about the T-Wolves move? We're finally getting to it. All right, T-Wolves trade Cat for this was a Cat for Dante DiVincenzo Julius Randle trade.
I'm fascinated by this trade, bro.
How do you feel about? I want to hear your sentiment on it, like because with me, I'm kind of in between on it, and I've tried to look at positives, but I'm so low on both of these play. Julius and Cat are two of my when I talk about opinions of players. Yeah. They are at the bottom of my barrel.
Yeah, polarizing is the right word. Like, Cat, he's one of the most, like, fascinating players, I feel like, in the NBA. Like,
he's talented.
Yeah, he's talented, but
like
he doesn't I don't want him on my team. Like,
that's crazy.
No, same. It's like in a vacuum, right? Like, I think it's dope for the Knicks that theoretically you get like a true 5-out center now. Like theoretically, and this is what they had in their brain when they made the trade, right? Like they're going to have 2 elite wing defenders in McHale and OG.
Yeah.
So I think McHale's defense these days is a bit overstated. Maybe that's because he had too big of an offensive load in Brooklyn. I don't know. We'll see if he gets back to that. But there's almost like not enough ball to go around there. But it's also nice to be able to, again, play a true 5-out to give Brunson more space to operate. But their brand last year was built on effort and defense and closing off possessions on the glass. We lost the Knicks series because they out-rebounded us. Point blank. Hartenstein and Mitchell, like, they crushed us on the glass. And Josh Hart had an outlier shooting series.
In that series, like, y'all were outscoring them basically like 75 or 80% of the series, and they won the series.
Yeah, that's one of the best series that I can remember. It's crazy that it was a first-round series. There
were some classic games in there.
Yeah, that's one of the most entertaining I've ever watched.
Oh, before you go, wild stat while you talk about there's not enough ball to go around. The average time that Jaylen Brown had the ball in a basketball game was 10 minutes with 24-second
Jalen Brunson?
Jalen Brunson, my bad.
Yes. Okay.
He averaged 10 minutes a game
with
the ball.
That's crazy. That's Lucas shit.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kids with Cat is going to be So fucking funny, by the way.
I really don't know what to make of it, bro. Because on
I
one hand,
can't wait
too,
to see that shit.
I know. On one hand, too, I think DiVincenzo is a much better player than the public. Like, I don't think they've caught up to how useful. We talk about those guys who you need in the middle of your roster, like a fourth, fifth starter type. Because Dante, you need guys who, like we talked about KCP earlier, you need those unconscious chuckers. Like, you give me an ounce of room, I'm putting the ball up. Like, he plays a good effort on defense. Like, I think he's just a good basketball, like a perfect fourth, fifth starter.
Yeah,
So
and
I think he's going to help Minnesota
is.
a ton. Me
I
personally,
think he is what they dreamed that Jaden McDaniels would have turned into on top of his defense. I think they saw some potential when they played. God damn it, they played. It was a close ass series. It was Minnesota and somebody else. Cat fouled out every game. Anyways, it was when D'Angelo Russell was on the T Wolves.
Okay.
He did play for the T Wolves, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He was in the Mike Conley trade, I think.
Yes. So I think that with the
DiVincenzo
thing, he's going to sculpt out Rob. I didn't have to look to know who Rob Dillingham was. I'm making sure I'm reading everything right. I think he's going to help sculpt Rob Dillingham into the real role that he's going to be in the NBA, even though I think Rob Dillingham is an explosive player. He's just too tiny to really get 36 minutes a game. You know what I mean? Like he can be a full-time point guard, but he's just going to be a defensive liability. And then with Minnesota on the other end getting Julius, I think it's like a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. It's like ball stopper and gets ball stoppish kind of.
No, he does for sure.
In his series of 5, but that's what all the best players do, by the way. They get in there, their 5 to 6, 7 possessions in a row where they're just 15 seconds. And then for New York, I understand they're trying to, with Mitchell, we don't know with Mitchell Robinson. I don't even know the timeline on his injury.
Yeah, we don't. I think they said December or January, but like he's one of those guys the past couple of years. I don't think you
big
can
guys.
I don't
big
think you
guys
can
don't get healthy fast if they.
Yeah.
I don't like the trade for either team. I know that sounds nuts. I think I like it more for the Knicks because it opens up the spacing on the offensive side. Yeah. But if you're already hurting with interior defense and you just lost Isaiah Hartenstein, who isn't some elite defender, but he is a good defender.
Hartenstein's he's a good player.
He's a really good player all around.
They're going to feel that loss 1,000%.
They are, bro. I've always said, I always thought the backup center is a much more important position than people weigh it to be.
You can't ask
me. And maybe it's because me and you, we have elite centers and we have never had a legit backup, but 1 or 2 years in between. Yeah. So I'm always like, damn, I wish I had a backup. And now they're sitting here and they're kind of in the abyss. You're going to play Jericho Sims?
That's what I'm saying.
Try that.
I think they're going to probably try OG at the 5, at least until and if Mitchell comes back. I don't know.
They're doing what the Pelicans are kind of doing with Herb
the Pels don't have a center at all. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to just I don't know why they gave up Larry Nance. I let him go. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, he's a versatile piece. And like you talked about earlier with AD not wanting to play the 5. So imagine Herb Jones or OG having to get down there. But over the course of 82, bro, that shit takes – can you play those guys in spot minutes in a 7-game playoff series?
Yeah.
But it's different when you're asking that dude to do that every single night because we know Cat can't take the best defensive assignment if it's a 5. I'm not even just talking about Joel. Joel cooks every motherfucker that's on him. But
no, Cat is fouling out versus Cat, the fourth best scorer on the team.
Literally. He bites for every pump fake. His feet are all over the place. He doesn't play with good balance. He can't guard the rim. So they're in my head, it's a complete identity shift from what they were last year. And they really just, to me, it seems like they thought this was their best chance to get off Julius Randle. Because the vibes with him, I don't think we need to go too deep into that. Definitely off. He'll pout. If he doesn't get a foul call, he's looking at the ref. He ain't running down the vibes just weren't he's bickering. He's tweeting on Instagram story. He's got an IG story talking about Knicks. They're just, something was off there. So I think they viewed it as their best chance to get off Julius Randle. But they're kind of locked into this team and this team only because they gave up damn near every asset they've got between McHale and Cat. This is their squad.
When your franchise player takes that big of a pay cut, you better go all in.
Yeah, and they gave up a You got to go look at that McHale trade again. Like the stuff that
No,
they sent
it's
out, that shit is
that was a
insane.
fucking and don't get it twisted. I understand Mikhail is fantastic. I think this whole it literally GMs are doing NBA Twitter shit and they're not, but they are. Where it's like this guy is this age and he plays defense good and he averages 20 points. He's worth
Yeah.
3 first rounders.
Yeah. Like McHale's the perfect fit, but that
Like,
doesn't mean you shell out what they shelled out. Look, they traded an unprotected first in 25, 27, 29, 31, a swap in 28, a top 4 protected first from the Bucks in 25, and a 2. So 5 ones, a swap, and a 2.
yeah, and they're
5
assuming
ones
because
from Mikal Bridges. Like, he's a solid player, but like,
yeah, and their key players are all 30 and below. Like they're not old or anything
yeah,
like that. But
yeah, it's cool. They got a really young core like that.
bro,
That
you
shit's
just
dope.
invested in OG. No
Yeah.
offense to Mikal Bridges. I think he's a more individually talented offensive player.
For sure. For sure.
OG is an insane defender.
OG's all world defensively.
Yes. Why are you just invested in the young defensive guy that can score 20?
Yep. And they're clearly looking at Boston like everyone is in the East.
And I get it.
Yeah.
And I've always said this. As I've gotten older, I realize, these teams are making moves to beat the top dog in the conference. You saw everybody go long and big, pause, to beat Giannis when they saw him win a title. You saw it. Everybody got all these big guys that couldn't move just so they could build a wall like Miami. It didn't work. All that shit. And then they saw Joel go off. Everybody's got 4 centers on their roster. Like, it's all going back and forth.
Yeah.
I hate the move for both teams, by the way. I can't state this enough.
I don't have an opinion, and because I don't have an opinion, that means I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, to your point, Randall's going to stop the ball in Minnesota, but they need someone who can create a shot aside from Ant. Like, he can't do it every single time, right? Like, they were missing that against Dallas. If Mike Conley wasn't setting the table a little bit, or Ant wasn't doing his own thing.
Kyle Anderson was their key contributor when it came late in that series.
Yeah, he was bringing the ball
killing
up,
him from the high post.
Catching the ball at the high post or on the short pick and roll and asking him to be a decision maker. Like, you can't live like that. So from that point, because Julius Randle's a good regular season player. Like, he's a solid, like, Duke can get
he made an all NBA first team.
Yeah. I think he's got 2 or 3 all NBA teams total. Like, he's not a bum. But
that's insane to think about. Julius Randle.
Yeah, the playoffs against the Hawks, like, he's one of the worst playoff dippers in like the current and like.
Yeah, he's like in that. No, I'm not trying to push buttons here. He is in that Harden class.
Yeah, no, that Hawks series, like, he averaged, I don't know, 14 a game. He probably shot 30-something%.
What he did against the Heat a year ago.
So I don't even know the Heat numbers.
Dude, he was shooting 14 shots a game and was making 3 of them.
Yeah, he's been a bad player.
And in the regular season, he hits a fadeaway runner with 0.2 left on the clock from 40 feet. Fuck out of here.
No, regular season is nice. Like, he brings a bully ball component. Like, it's probably a wash defensively between him and Cat. Like, maybe Cat's bigger, so naturally he has a little more like rim deterrence just by putting his hands up. But Julius Randle, you'll live with him catching and shooting from downtown. So, like, your spacing gets a little bit more crowded. You've already got Gobert starting, right? So, like, now what does that do to your spacing? Although DiVincenzo helps open it up, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a team that had issues shooting last year from the 3-point line.
Lost their best shooter.
Take our best shooter and we'll take the ISO score.
Yeah.
I understand your defensive efficiency is number 1 in the league. I understand you got Rudy Gobert back there.
Yeah,
but
they're banking on that too. Like, they have Jay McDaniels. Ant, when he locks in, Ant's like a true 2-way guy when he digs in. Yeah,
he can clamp up.
Yeah,
I understand. They're trying to. They're looking at it as we're going to be a defensive team and we need shot makers late in the clock. I totally understand it. It just doesn't make any sense throughout an 82-game season when I'm going to look at their 3-point percentage and they're going to be shooting 34% as a team.
Yeah,
and they'll probably be 25-8 at that point.
It's one of the only trades with players of this caliber where you can look at it and be like, I don't know who won the trade. Like, I don't. Yeah. Did they both get worse? Are they both better? Like, is it a wash? Yeah. I don't have an opinion, bro. I genuinely do not know how that's going to work.
I like the Dante piece more than anything in the trade.
So do I. And from all the reporting that I read, this trade they've been talking about this for months, and the Knicks just did not want to put DiVincenzo in. Like, they offered Mitchell Robinson instead. Obviously, why would Minnesota do that? He's playing backup to Gobert. Guy's not healthy. But they don't want to put DiVincenzo in, which I get. I think it's more than just the whole fucking friendship Nova Knicks. I think he's a good player. So they finally caved. But, I mean, I respect New York, I guess, for having, like, conviction, because they clearly pushed every fucking chip they've got.
You extended your coach.
Yeah.
You extended your franchise player.
Yeah.
You're obviously going all in.
And they're going to be a good team, right? Like, the Knicks, it's not like they're going to – the bottom's not falling out. In my head, they're probably the 2 seed in the East.
I could say with Kristaps' health history, I know he's been healthy as of late.
He's out till January.
Exactly.
At
least.
He's
out a minute. They could sneak into that 1 seed.
Yeah,
easy.
I can see it. They should be a regular season wins machine the way that.
And mostly how fucking Boston is, bro. Boston will be, and it's because they're so good. Boston will be down by 12 with 4 minutes to go every other week to Charlotte, to whoever the fuck they're playing.
I had so many unsuccessful hate watches on Boston. I'm like, especially early in the year before Joel went down, where we were kind of fighting for one. I'll be watching Boston Charlotte on a random fucking Wednesday. They'd be down 11 with 7:48 to go. You go to the bathroom, you pick up your phone, they're up fucking 3. I'll be like, damn,
literally,
man. Like, they did it.
They hit 7 threes in a row.
Yeah, just a fucking barrage. Yeah, we still on the West.
Yes. I was going to talk about Dallas.
Yeah, let's do it. It's another fascinating team. Been talking to Tony a lot about them, so I'm curious to hear what you say.
I absolutely love this roster.
Okay. I do too. It's a good roster.
I was a big Pelicans watcher, so I am familiar with Najee Marshall's game.
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted him on the Sixers. I think I told you all off season.
Yes, and he didn't really get an opportunity on that team, but when he did, it was like, like when Zion, 2 years ago, when Zion was missing a lot of games, and I was watching them because I was playing fantasy basketball, and it's just me. I watch any game that's on.
Yeah, same.
And you saw the growth. That was the year they realized, Trey Murphy is a hooper. That's the year that they realized that shit. And then he just lost all opportunity because last year Zion played a shit ton of games. Trey Murphy is still their young asset that I think they're going to have to trade. Herb Jones, they got too many athletic wings. But this dude is a legit defensive menace, and he can shoot the rock. Klay Thompson, listen, I'm not going to go on a Klay hate rant. I've done it before. I'm not going to reference if I can't say, if I can tell y'all to shut the fuck up about Ben Simmons workout videos, I'm going to tell y'all to shut the fuck up about Klay looking bad in some clips against some 40-year-olds that look like my dad at a rec center. All right. NBA players miss shots too, but still, he's just got to catch and shoot, man. Yeah. It ain't that difficult. And you know what Jason Kidd's had to work around a lot? Defensive liabilities. Liabilities in general. I think this is the least Swiss cheese Dallas roster we've seen in a minute. Like, they've always had some gaping hole. Like, why the fuck is Tim Hardaway in?
Right. Yeah.
Why is this dude missing games? Why is Lively not playing more? Why? Like, there's always these questions. And now, dude, this rotation, they got Dinwiddie back, who was I think Dinwiddie is the guy. We have seen it throughout his career. If he ain't where he wants to be, he don't play basketball. You saw even spurts and little tiny spurts on the Lakers. Like, hey, that is Spencer Dinwiddie. He can still hoop. Yeah. This rotation right here: Luka, Kai, Najee, Klay, Lively, Quentin Grimes, who I like. He was in the dead zone in Detroit.
I like him a lot, bro. I'm not giving up on Quentin Grimes either.
On the New York Knicks, he was perceived as a very good asset, as a young 3-and-D guy. Yeah. He went to the Pistons and became a bum because nobody watched him, right? And then you get Gafford and Lively and PJ. Bro, this team is 9 to 10 deep, and you have guys you trust on the bench with Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell. I'm not saying they're good players, but when they go in the game, they are going to know their assignments.
Yeah.
That's a deep. You know how I feel about Luka.
Yeah. I didn't realize how deep it was till you read it out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For me, I love the Grimes pickup, especially when you're playing around Luka, right? Like, it's like if there's an avenue for someone to get excited about the Klay signing, it's the shot quality that he's going to get in Dallas, he's
Yes.
probably never seen before. Because, Steph's pantheon of all-time greats, he's not a true point guard by nature. Like, Luka is going to find you in pockets that Klay has never seen before in his entire life. Even with all the Draymond running the show, whatever you want to say about their offense, Luka is one of the best passers who's ever played the game basketball, period.
Yeah.
So Klay's going to get some looks on offense. Quentin Grimes, I ain't quitting. Their biggest move was probably getting Tim Hardaway off the roster, honestly. Like, that's one of the most that was like the PJ Tucker dump for us. Getting off
Tim Hardaway Sr., I love you. You are a Heat legend. Shut the fuck up, man.
Chill out on
Quit
these
talking about your son.
Yeah,
we don't care.
He's a bucket at 37%.
Yeah.
Yeah, your son can score at the park. I like him, J.R. Smith, they'll go fucking run shit over there. In the NBA,
the rookie game was fun with Dion Waiters, man. We remember.
Blow for blow, we will not forget, bro.
I won't forget
I'll
it.
never forget. I swear to God. Yeah, I'll never
Like,
forget. But your time is over, dog.
Come on,
I
dog.
like that. I like getting off Josh Green. Josh Green in my head is the same player as Christian Brown.
Yeah.
I cannot, it's one of those, like, if you know, you know. If you don't, it's hard to explain. Like, they leave him wide open for three. His confidence of Wayne, if he missed a couple, he would not look at the rim. He'd dribble down on a fast break. Maybe have one guy to beat. Maybe it's a 2-on-1. And he'd pull back out and look for Luka to hand the ball off too. It's like, I like getting off him. Grant Williams, obviously, last year, good job getting rid of him. That shit was not going to work. Even though a lot of people were high on that signing, that didn't work. To your point about Kidd, like, forming a defense from nothing, I don't know how the fuck that team was the number one defense in the NBA after the break.
That 21-7 run they went on.
I never in a million years thought you could build a real defense
around
Luka and Kyrie. Yeah. And Kyrie.
Yeah.
Like a small guard and another guard, a big guard, whatever you want to call Luka, who cannot defend me on the perimeter. I don't want to hear Mavs. I do not want to hear advanced stats on Luka's. Like, I don't want to. No, he's not a fucking good
don't
defender.
Don't say he wasn't healthy again. Quit saying it, because when he dropped 40, you didn't say shit.
Yep, he was fine. That shit set me off last year, and I'm sensitive to that stuff.
I'm obsessed with Luka, guys.
Yeah, and I'm sensitive to that shit. You know me, because I watch Big Fella go out every playoffs when he's actually fucking, like, I'm like, don't
Kris, you fucking know her. You don't know.
You don't know her, bro. You don't get to pick and choose when he goes for 45. He's looking all right. Like the OKC series, bro. Like, he just didn't have a good series. Luka did. Like, it happens. Like, Ludor played him tough. Like, they allowed him to be more physical than probably most refs should have. He just didn't have a good series. But you got the PJ Wash. Like, I don't know. It all worked out. But to my point, I didn't think you could ever build a real defense around Luka and Kyrie. And they were incredible. Like, Lively's a dude, bro. Like, he is like the modern rim running center. I don't need to see any more of, like, Tony sending me these offseason shooting vids with him in the corner. That's never going to be a shot. I know he's 20, right? I guess I don't want to say never. But you can speak to this. I can speak to this. I've watched Ben Simmons pregame. I've watched Andre Drummond pregame. I've watched Bam Adebayo before this year. These are fucking NBA dudes. When you get them in the corner with the trainer with no one guarding him, they all look fucking incredible. Like,
I'm going to have to combat this, Kris. I'm sorry.
Derek Lively will not average more than 1 3-point attempt a game this year. I will bet fucking hard.
I'm not saying this year. Let me tell you something.
He's not shooting more than 1 3 a game this year.
I almost tweeted it last year. I saw a defensive sequence.
And he's got great touch. I will say that. Like, he's got good touch.
And I was skeptical of it because I'm not a draft evaluator. I see what they do in the pros. I was going off everything every scout wrote about this guy.
I thought he sucked.
His offensive game is non-existent. Yeah. This dude can't make a hook shot in an open gym.
Yes,
that's what everybody was writing.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
Yeah,
it was them. But I'll tell you this: I saw a defensive sequence. It was a primetime game against ESPN, and I swear to God, I just blurted it out. I was like, "Yo, that looked like Bam." I said, "Bro, that's Bam." And I'll tell you what. I'm not going to say he's going to reach the ceiling of Bam. Bam is going to end up, I think this year he's going to reach another level, because that's where I combat the shooting thing. Not this year.
And he is 20. Yeah, it's stupid of me to make, like, declarations on
But I get what you're saying, though. I totally get it. Because with Bam, dude, Bam's range has extended basically 3 to 5 feet every season since his 4th, 5th season. He has gone from the short box jumper, from all paint, short box jumper to elbow, and now he is attempting 3 to 4 threes a game in the preseason, and it's real. In the Olympics, it was real.
Olympics. Yeah.
So it can happen. That's all I'm saying.
It can happen. I just, in my head, when I'm projecting, again, we're getting into a long-term discussion, but
7 years down the line, Luka.
Like, it's sort of like, especially as a young guy playing with Luka Doncic, like you miss 2 of those corner threes, and Luka's head starts like, he gets into that body language. Again, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like he gets into that body language thing, and Lively's observing that, and your confidence just, I don't know, man.
He won't shoot that in the game this
year. Maybe 7 years down the road. But yeah, for this year, he ain't shooting.
7 years.
Let's focus on this year's preview. He ain't shooting.
Yeah, but I'm in love with the Dallas roster. I really think they can compete for, I don't know if anybody's compete with OKC. They're too young. I rely on young, healthy teams to get 1 seeds most of the time. I really do.
We're talking regular season,
But
they're young.
And this Dallas team is going to be, if they can stay moderately healthy, because Luka's going to miss his games, Kyrie's going to miss his games. If they stay, and that's why they brought these guys into me, because I think we sit here and we're obsessed with ring culture and stuff to get some trigger words going that we forget how important home court advantage is. Yep. How important one of those top 4 seeds is to get out of the first round, to help in the second round if you need it with the home court advantage. And then with the conference finals, your 2 super elite teams, I would hope you would know how to win on the road. And then it comes down to the best players in those series, most likely. But yeah, man, I think they're deep enough to win some of those games they would lose without Luka on a certain night. And they don't need Luka out there anymore dropping 55, 10, 10 to win on a Wednesday. I really do think it's his MVP year this year, because they're going to be in position throughout the entire season and not have to go through a crazy dude. They went 21-7 in a 28-game span. They're not going to have those this year, in my opinion. Now, once again, guys, I hate to tell y'all, dude, Kyrie Irving, to me, will never have that Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer beeping alarm on his face ever for me. He has it permanently. Yeah. He can get pissed off at a drop of a hat.
Yep.
So I'm not counting that out either. He could ask for a trade in November.
I think one thing too, like we didn't even talk about, they had more roster turnover than this, but essentially they lose Derrick Jones to the Clippers, who was a huge piece. He was probably the biggest move when they inserted him into the starting lineup, is when that defense sort of flipped after the break. And now you lose him. You're bringing in Najee Marshall, who's another. He had up to this point in his career, last year was an outlier shooting season. So I'm curious to see, can that shot stick, or does he turn into a Derrick Jones where they give him space and are happy with him firing? Because Derrick Jones is a better defender, I think, than Najee Marshall, at least on the ball.
Uh-huh.
But Najee brings a little bit more offensive, and offensively too, more hub, can get you off the bounce and play make.
Mm-hmm.
Is it enough to counteract what they lose defensively from Derrick Jones Jr.? I know Tony will get pissed if he ever hears this. I'm not saying Derrick Jones is a first-team All-NBA defender. That's not what I'm saying. But it's no coincidence when they put him in the starting lineup that defense flipped around. He was clearly a key cog, but the guy couldn't shoot a lick. And I don't know if Najee Marshall can either, although he's going to have much better spacing than he did with the Pels. Because that Pels half-court offense is congested as a motherfucker. So
Derrick Jones was on a roll there through, I think, a first quarter of the season, shooting 40% from 3. And I told Michael, I said, Brad, there's no way this can last. I watched, Derrick Jones is the one dude from the Heat that has moved on, that was a young developing player. And I was like, he's too entertaining with his dunks to not check in on him every once in a while. He never developed a jumper. And when it was hitting in Dallas, I'm like, okay, if this sticks, Derrick Jones is going to be literally $100 million basketball player.
Yeah, he's going to get a bag.
But if it doesn't, he's still going to be a good player and he'll get his bag. But yeah, man, I really like that Mavs. I think they could get the 2 seed this year, no doubt.
I like Dallas too. When you said MVP, I think any money that's not on SGA or Luka this year is bad money. I think it's one of them too this year, personally. I just don't think the Bucks are good enough, personally. We'll talk about that when we get into the East. I don't think they'll be good enough because Giannis' stat line's not going to change. He's going to do his 30, 12, and 5.5 on 60%. Like, that shit's going to be there. I don't think they're going to be seated high enough. And I think Denver's slipping a little, plus voter fatigue for a 3-time MVP in the last 4 years. There's going to be fatigue with Jokic.
Yep.
So I think it's Luka or SGA this year for MVP. And
I will say,
it's not a hot take either. I bet that's where all the money's going. Joel's not playing enough games either. So
the dick riding for Jokic, it gets out of hand sometimes, though, bro. He could get a 7 seed, and they're super underperforming, and they're going to give him some first-place votes for that shit, man. I promise you they will. It's kind of disappointing when they do that.
I think he won one year as a 6, 7, or 8. I don't remember what they were. The year that the whole team was hurt, and they got bounced by the Warriors.
It was the year, when God damn, what's his name?
I think they were a 6.
I'm sitting here. Bones Highland was starting in the series. That's what I was thinking of.
I was talking mad shit about Jokic too, and I had no business doing that. He was going to war with nobody, bro. They had no shot that year.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is incredible. I'm not ever taking anything away.
No, he's insane.
Yeah. He's still going to be top of the league in my eyes. Sacramento, another team. I don't want to go in extensive talks with Sacramento, to be honest.
Yeah, no, me neither. I'm a lead on this one, dude. I don't like the DeRozan fit, bro. Am I crazy? Are you higher on it than I am? I don't like it, dude. No. I don't like DeMar sharing the floor with Sabonis.
I really don't like DeMar at this point in his career.
I love DeMar. I don't like.
I meant like sharing the floor with certain players. And you're talking about a guy that, yes, he was going off on the Bulls, and it kind of worked with Zach LaVine that first year for a little bit, but they were in the play-in or they were the 8 seed, whatever they were. But it's still, now you're going with a primary like one of the best pick and roll players in De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis working from the elbow. Yep. Well, where does DeMar work all of his work from?
Yep, which is his only spot. He's not a catch and shoot threat from 3. You know, everyone that watches DeMar knows he's on that. He trained with Kevin Garnett his whole life, apparently. So that motherfucker will bang one with a foot on the line, but he will not shoot him from behind
until it's a buzzer beater.
Yeah, until it's then. Yeah, he goes like Jimmy Butler playoff. You know, it's like that sort of.
It's fucking sort of nuts.
Vortex, bro. It's so weird. I'm like, just take one step back. You're comfortable there. But the thing in Chicago too, and again, they were a shit team. I'm not using his success in Chicago as proof of concept because the team sucked. But they at least could play a 5 out with the starters because Vooch could theoretically shoot.
Yeah, he could shoot.
Yeah, like Sabonis. Sabonis can't do anything outside the paint.
No.
I remember Draymond guarding him in the playoffs. If he turned and faced the basket at the elbow, Dre would not full close out. Like, that's how much little respect people have.
He'd be playing passing lanes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fit, it's way too clunky for me. I'm not a fan. I think DeMar's still a good player. You know, he was on PG's pod. I really think if we didn't get Paul George, I think DeMar might have been a Sixer. And I would have hated that fit there too. I just wouldn't have liked it. I really wouldn't have. I think he's a good player. You've got to have proper spacing for him.
You have to.
And Sabonis might be the worst 5 to couple him with. I don't like them defensively. Fox, DeMar, Sabonis. I mean, that's 3 guys in your starting lineup who can't defend.
Yeah, and
that's asking a lot. We talked about Dallas, right? Building an elite defense.
They lost Davion Mitchell as well.
Yeah, they lost Davion Mitchell to Toronto. Keon Ellis is a solid player. He's their best defender. Honestly, Keon Ellis is their best defender. Keegan Murray is not much. I don't think he's pissed, but he's not above average. He's probably average on his best day at defense.
Yeah, and I really brought them up because of the De'Aaron Fox extension talks in his comments.
That too.
That means something to me because the Kings could easily be a team that is 40 games into the season and they're 14-26.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that's what they will be, but they're one injury away from that. If you take Sabonis or De'Aaron off that team, I mean.
Yeah, and you never know with those extension talks because usually it's the guy is eligible for like an extra year with more money if they wait till the end. So like you never know like what to make of them. But anytime it pops up, it's definitely something to keep an eye on, especially for a team that could go the wrong way. Then you're wondering what's the long-term future. Does Fox see that as a fit? Because DeMar's long in the tooth. Maybe Sabonis lays another fucking egg like he does every year in the playoffs when they make it.
And the way he insinuated winning, like he's like, bro, I want to win.
Yeah,
that's
right. Yeah,
and I watched the press conference because it's all over Heat Twitter. Do we need De'Aaron Fox? No shit.
I saw that.
Everybody wants him.
Would you trade Tyler Hero in this? I'm like, dog, I will personally pack.
He is one of the best fucking guards in the league. Yes, I want him. Anybody wants him.
And he's a much better shooter than he was when he came into the league. Like
he's not crazy, honestly.
Yeah, but you have to guard De'Aaron Fox from three. I'm not saying he's going to kill you.
Yeah, and clutch player of the year.
Yeah, you're not leaving him like you would leave some of these other quote unquote non-shooters or not. De'Aaron Fox can shoot a little bit.
Can I ask a real question for the NBA people out there? How does somebody win clutch player of the year, but they had the second worst clutch record in the league?
So Fox did? Yeah, that's crazy.
Or he was nominated.
I feel like all that award
How the fuck are you nominated? They were 11 and 26 in clutch games.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like all that award does is reward middling teams who play in the clutch a lot.
Yeah.
And a guy that scores a lot in the clutch. Yeah.
And nobody scored.
That's what I'm saying. It was the Heat, the Kings, the Warriors. Those are the first three. I feel like every time you looked up, that bitch was tight with 5 to go. It's like they get to accumulate more stats in the clutch.
It's the worst but best thing about being a Heat fan, to be honest. Celtics on a primetime game, 5-point game, no Jimmy, no Bam.
Yeah.
Fucking Pistons on a Wednesday at 6:30.
Off 4 days rest with the full roster.
5-point game.
Yeah. Yep.
Jimmy and Bam playing.
Yeah, that's the Heat experience.
Yeah, and really with the
I don't like Sack though this year. I really don't. I don't know.
I don't either.
Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
I don't think they're going to be a great team. I just really wanted to bring up the De'Aaron Fox contract, to be honest. The Pels are the Pels. I think that Dave Griffin is I don't think he makes the move for DeJounte without having something else in line with that. But I mean, Willie Green, and this could be coach speak. It seems like they are like, no, we don't. Stop calling Herb our center. We are positionless.
Yeah, they're trying that. When you say that means you don't have a center.
Yes.
Like, you don't have the personnel. Yeah, we're going to mix and match bodies.
And the way, if you look, and I'm just going off the top of my head here with David Griffin, he has always actually looked for bigs. That's part of his roster construction is hunting for bigs, going out and getting them, whether it's like a Tristan Thompson, like post-drafting him and getting him back for LeBron, getting offensive rebounds, because that's what he wants. I just remember watching this press conference, and he went on this like 5-minute rant about extra possessions in basketball games and how they're underrated. So I know he focuses on those offensive rebounders, and they just lost literally every tall guy they have.
Yeah, they don't have a single good rebounder on their team. Zion's a terrible rebounder, by the way.
Guys, go look at Zion's rebounding numbers the last couple of years, bro. He is that freak of an athlete. Averaged like 6 rebounds a game.
Rebounds like a 2 guard. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They drafted the kid from Baylor to be their center. I don't know if the kid's going to start. Probably not. But, yeah, you can't rely on a pick in the 20s to start at center if you're serious about winning basketball games.
Daniel Tice.
Okay. All right.
Bring him out there. All right.
Player of the year in Germany or whatever he was.
Yeah.
Every league he got that.
And I just wanted to bring up, I loved what I saw to Jordan Hawkins last year.
Boy can shoot. Real quick, though, on the Pels, too. Is Brandon Ingram on the team at the trade deadline?
No. I think it's before that.
Is that not weird as shit to you? They had feelers out for him all offseason, and nobody wanted this guy?
Well, the market has to be low because in 2024, if you're a primary mid-range jump shooter that is injury-prone, ball stopper, isn't a great defender at 6'11", you're probably not. And it's always like there's no market for somebody. That is not true. There is a market for Trae Young. that means we know the end point here. Y'all are separating. We're going to say there's no market, so we can lowball the shit out of you for a very good player in BI. I know he's available for 10 games a year, but he is a very good fucking basketball player.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
I know, like, all the nerds will tell you, too, like, and this shit is true, like, how fucking hard it is to trade big salary players with the new one apron, second apron. Like, you have to, like, literally match money on the dollar if you're in this threshold. Like, it's really fucking hard to trade big name guys now. So I get that, but it is kind of weird that nobody had enough interest in BI because the Pels have made it clear they're not paying him. So, like, that's another, like, we talked about Aaron Gordon earlier. You think BI is going to be happy playing out the year without an extension? Like, no, that guy's not going to be comfortable.
And mostly with his health history, his agent's going to tell him to sit out back-to-backs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So then I don't think they have the depth to support that. DeJounte, to your point, is another player whose his reputation exceeds what he currently is, in my opinion. He's still a solid NBA player. I'm not saying he sucks, but he's definitely not.
I like his game, low key.
He's not a two-way guy. Yeah. I mean, every time I watched him play in the Heat last year, I was like, hey, DeJounte's going to work.
Dudes like that come from a system of, like, you got to earn your keep here at the Spurs. When they get to a spot in a position in their career where they get the ball a lot and they become a scorer, a lot of guys with the wrong mentality forget about the other side of the ball. And they're like, bro, I'm finally getting the fucking rock. For sure. And then you go 4 years doing that.
And he got paid. So, you know.
Then you do 4 years of, like, all right, if I'm getting paid, I have to have counting stats.
For sure.
Counting stats get paid.
He strikes me as a counting stat guy a little bit.
He is.
Like, I don't have any proof. I've never seen him stat hunt, but
yeah,
he strikes me as, like, I'm not saying he's alone. A bunch of guys do this, but he strikes me as, like, go sit on the bench, give me the paper box score, like, oh, yeah.
24, 8, and 7?
Yeah, I did my shit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But the Pels, yeah.
Dude, they were almost a 50-win team last year, man.
Yeah, no. Just that injury history with their two best players, and, like, I feel like
we're and CJ's an old two guard, bro.
I'd say we're at, like, a crossroads with CJ a little bit. Like,
can you trade the NBA PA guy?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
He's gonna shut down the franchise.
Yeah, that guy's gonna.
Yo, they were fucking tampering over there. Actually, David Griffin, he was fucking tampering.
CJ gets traded. They have a fucking strike. Like, the NBA just shuts down. He's like, nah, I ain't going there. Like, I'm not saying he should. I don't want to sound crazy, but I don't know. I was gonna mention a bench role for CJ, but I think that's too far. But I'm like, their team just doesn't. I don't know, bro. Their team just doesn't. It doesn't make a lot of sense on the court to me.
Yeah, and you know what it is for me? I'm still in that almost like I'm a novice at watching the game of hoops, that I still go like, nah, man, they got Zion. They got Zion, they got a chance. And it just doesn't seem right, mostly with his injury history and stuff like that. And then as I've gotten older, I start realizing, like, yo, I have forgotten a lot of, not Zion in particular, but a lot of these dudes, I'm like, nah, it'll change. They've been in the league for 7 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, you are what you are after, like, year 4 or 5, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has a role transformation like Aaron Gordon did out of nowhere like that. That is an anomaly.
Yeah, it is, 100%. Like, yeah, Zion's never going to get a three-point shot. Like, he's never going to be a good rebounder. He's probably never going to be a good defender. Like, he's one of the best forces all time, like, going downhill. Like,
but he's going to get his 30, 7, and 6.
He can only go left. The whole gym knows he can only go left. The motherfucker still gets left. Like,
man, some of those games I watched of him last year, I was like,
we hold on to the Laker playing game. It's like, dog, like, he can be like that. Like, he's that. I wish God would keep him healthy for a year. Like, he did that so fun, bro.
When I got off the night shift, I was like, man, it was like those weird days where, like, the Heat had like 2 or 3 days rest. And I was just sitting there like, oh, let me turn on the Pelicans, man. Zion been playing. Let me see this. Dude, he was dropping 35 and 8 every time I watched him. And he missed 3 shots.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, this dude, he's different. I love watching him play basketball. I hate when he gets hurt. Warriors are the Warriors. I really don't even want to talk about them.
Real quick on the Pels, though.
Yeah.
Trey Murphy's hurt, too, to start the year.
Yes, I was
And
going to mention that when I brought him up.
you brought that up earlier too about how he might get traded. That one's really fucking weird. And this is, some Sixers fandom in me because I know we're going to be hunting for probably. I think Daryl's going to try to go like
Everybody sending an offer for Trey
yeah,
Murphy, dude.
like clean the cupboard. I think Daryl's going to try to go at the deadline with all those firsts we got from the Clippers. So Trey Murphy is like everyone's dude. He's hurt right now. There was talks like the Pels were trying to ship away Brandon Ingram so that they could pay Trey Murphy. They haven't paid Trey Murphy. Brandon Ingram's still on the roster. So it's like, there's something, it's like one of those vibes things again. I don't really know what's happening behind the scenes over there, but something doesn't feel right. And I could easily, to your point, like if I think Trey's getting reevaluated in a couple weeks, I forget what the injury was, hamstring or something. I could look it up, but Zion could go down game 2. Like BI could go down game 7. Like the Pels could be sitting at, I don't know, like 9-16, like they could be in one of those weird spots. And then it's
blow-up season.
Yeah, do we become sellers? Like,
and David Griffin don't sit still. David Griffin does not sit on his hands.
Yeah, he is active for sure.
He's like, all right, this ain't going well. Boom, boom, boom.
I feel like Trey Murphy's a pipe dream, but again, like it also doesn't make sense to go into the tax for that team when they're not close enough to win. They're just not. No. They're not there. So I'm always fascinated to see what GMs do. And most of the time, they don't operate with the logic that we think they should. Right? Like we're playing like 2K manager. Like, yo, just trade him, bro. You can't win. This is not like a fantasy football league, a fantasy dynasty league where it's like, just unload everyone. Because if you unload all your young guys, it's hard. Your hit rate is low in the draft, bro. Like it's
bro.
Hard
you get 2 20-win seasons, you're fucking fired as a GM.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
That too. Yeah, you can't just completely.
And mostly with a generational talent, the ownership. Let's be real here. I don't think a lot of owners are sitting there watching basketball games. They're billionaires. Yeah. They're gonna be like, bro, we got Zion. Why the fuck aren't we winning?
Yeah.
And you have to go explain to them all this shit. Well, then make it work is what they say probably.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't use logic the same way that
you think I made $2 billion off saying, well, these excuses.
Right.
Like, shut the fuck
Some
up.
Jerry shit. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Pels, I think they'll be a fun regular season team, but
they're gonna be one of my league pass teams. I was gonna say that. Definitely a league pass team.
For sure.
No doubt. Let's just move on to the East. Celtics, I mean, we don't even have to talk about them. They literally did not add anybody. They did not lose anybody. They're going to come back and
they brought literally the whole team back.
Probably win 60 games again and call it a day, get the 1 seed. We've kind of talked about the Knicks, so we really don't even need to talk about them, but their rotation to me is still good. They still got like a Shamet in there. Like, a lot of those teams, like y'all, the way y'all kind of the back end of the offseason, y'all sculpted that team is actually pretty impressive. The way y'all get a Andre Drummond, a Caleb Martin, the way y'all did the back end, because it was looking grim there for like a week and a half. You're like, yo, the Sixers, we talked about this. Y'all didn't have a roster.
We went into the year with 2 guys on the now 3 if you count Maxey. Maxey counts for me, so 3. But yeah, it was Joel, Maxey, and Ricky Council. The only guaranteed contracts we had on the books. Like that's a whole, we did not have a roster. And then Shamet just got waived. Shamet just got waived today, by the way, by the Knicks.
After the injury?
Yeah, after he got hurt, they waived him. Yeah, tough business, bro. Yeah, Shamet got waived.
What?
Yeah,
dude, tough. I was sitting there doing all my last like 2 hours of research. I didn't even see it today because I was at work and I came home.
I saw that he dislocated his shoulder, and then I forget who tweeted it, but yeah.
They put a trigger warning up on Twitter, like, hey, yo, if you watch this and you get queasy, don't blame us.
It was weird, too, because he just, like, swiped for the ball, and then he immediately, like, falls on the ground and grabs his shoulder. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, his shit popped out terribly. Well, they got Campaign and Miles McBride.
Campaign. So. Hey, Deuce can play. It's fucking annoying, but Deuce can play.
It's weird that he can play because he's so little.
Yeah, it's annoying. He can play, though.
He is a pest defensively.
He'll pick up 94. Yeah, that contract they got him on. I'm not saying like Deuce McBride's swinging titles over here, but
he's a needle mover, baby.
Yeah, they're paying that guy 1.5 a year or some shit, or $1 million for like 4 years. Like when you're a team that has that many big salary guys, you need guys like that on the roster. He's a good player.
This changes to me. It doesn't change. It's not like, once again, Landry Shamet isn't a
I don't
needle
think
mover.
They're deep, bro. I'm curious to hear what you say. Like, I love their 5.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't going to say they were deep anyways.
Yeah.
I was just saying they have warm bodies.
Yeah.
Bro, their rotation is Jalen Brunson, Cat, Mikal Bridges, OG, Josh Hart, Miles McBride, Campaign, and a hurt Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah. Precious Achua probably gets some PT.
Maybe the thing was he had
Played
a
a lot.
whole opportunity to get burned last year,
Yeah. He got
and
some burn
he
in the
didn't get
playoffs.
it.
Yeah.
And the way Tibbs plays, man, this is a dangerous game to play with that coach. He
That's
is
what I'm
going
saying.
to run these fucking players into the goddamn ground.
Yeah. I mean, everyone waited on it all year, and they were like, man, maybe they're just going to get away with it. And then here comes the Indiana series, and there goes OG's hammy. There goes Brunson's hand. There goes Josh
Dude,
Hart. Like,
I
they
don't
lost
care
it
how
all
young
at
your team
once.
is, bro. You
Yeah.
cannot
You
do
can't
this
play 40
shit.
minutes a night. I don't want to hear all these dumbass old heads talking about, oh, back in my day, we used to play 44 minutes.
Cool.
Like, yeah, no. Don't work like that anymore,
No.
bro. Guys are too skilled. The pace has gone way up. Like, you can't be playing guys 42 minutes a night. I'm not saying
Yeah, I
everyone's,
didn't get to play
but
defense on the box for 48 minutes, bro. I'm
yeah,
chasing a center around the three-point
yeah,
line.
yeah, literally. It's way different. Yeah,
The
bro, they
fuck
are.
are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm looking at their roster. Yeah, so
But yeah,
let me see.
The Knicks to
Jalen.
me, everybody is sitting here projecting them as a 2 seed. And
Yeah,
I'm going, bro, they are 2 rolled ankles away from
They are.
playing
For sure.
league
And
minimum guys.
yeah, if you're not projecting them to get the 2, it's because you think someone's going down for sure, which is always baked into, a couple
Dude,
teams.
it's an
we'll talk
82 game
about.
season.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to miss something.
For sure. I don't like OG, OG misses games, like a lot of games.
Often.
Let me pull up OG stat log.
Yeah, he's not on like Kawhi level, obviously, but he is a guy that is consistently at 58 games, 46 games, a lot of years.
Last 4 years, 50, 67, 48, 43.
There you go.
That's a lot, bro. That's not sitting out. That's not like a couple back-to-backs, like a 10-game ankle. Like, it's half the season.
No, that's like he tore like something in his shoulder or like hurt a muscle.
He gets the most random. He's a random injury guy too.
Like, he doesn't get like a rolled ankle. It's like, this like, rare ligament that nobody's ever torn.
Scapulatorus on it. I'm like, what the fuck? So no one knows his timeline. Like,
yeah. My dad doesn't even know the injury. Like, what the fuck is that?
What the fuck is this,
like, I've never diagnosed that before. What the fuck is this?
And then, but yeah, with to a pod on Cat too. Cat's played 62, 29, 74, 50, and 35.
Yeah. Cat's
low-key getting hurt too.
It is, but I think when Ant came, his usage wasn't as an ISO score, so his health to me really isn't in question as much.
In my head, I don't see him like in the same light. Yeah.
So now I really do think I hate that, and I think Cat's going to get frustrated. He will be a guy that's going to sit in the fucking corner.
Yeah.
No, he's going to be primarily a pick and pop guy and a screen guy, and with the other people, the other guys around him, there's a lot of versatility that they can bring to that lineup. Now, the thing is, Tibbs isn't known for offensive versatility. So they could have a lot of small on small screens. I mean, OG, like you said, running the 5 defensively could convert into the offensive end as well, creating crazy mismatches and open up lanes for Brunson. But at the same time, I don't see them evolving that way. And I think it's a weirder fit than people think it is. I think people overreact when you see these names on the back of a jersey.
Yeah, on paper it looks crazy.
Dog, I just saw KD, Devin Booker get swept.
Yeah, like pack the fuck up with ease.
Like it wasn't close.
Yeah, and I know we both agree the Knicks roster as a whole is much better than the Suns.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like
I'm saying, like,
and
those 2 guys are better than anybody on that roster.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do like the psychological game because this shit's hard to predict, but it's like when you take breadcrumbs a little bit here and there, and it's like Cat got traded from Minnesota, like on a human level, like for all the shit that Cat went through, and like for the GM to drive to his house and surprise him and find out he's leaving the place where, he was the number 1 pick. They were fucking terrible. Like he built that from, I know it wasn't him. Like Ant came in and turned it around, but like,
and by the way, Julius Randle did the same for New York.
Yeah,
people forget.
Yeah,
Julius Randle was the piece that brought New York back to even a 500 season.
That's a great
People
point.
forget that.
Yeah, they were. Oh, we're getting Kyrie, KD, and all that shit fell through. Yeah, Julius like put them back on the map as like a mid-40s team who was making the playoffs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great point. And like you've got like the hitch in McHale's shot. Like maybe I don't know how deep. I don't know what
I don't like to overreact to shit like that.
Same.
But when I see
I've seen
that,
so many I've seen some quotes. McHale himself said after he graduated from Villanova, year 2, he had like a hitch in his shot. He's tried to work it out. And there were some videos I saw of like his shot back in 2020 with Phoenix and his shot now. I'm like, bro, shit does not look the same. And he just went 0 for 12 in a preseason game. So I saw 0 for 10, whatever. So of course,
and those shots were good looks.
Yeah. But that one, bro, he had one where he like set, dude, it was like, like a full, like,
so the thing is
bro.
with the Tatum thing, it's different because he's smoothing it out.
Yeah, Tatum's a smoother now.
I feel like Mikhail's going backwards.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. Maybe that's something to watch, but
and that is a key essential piece of why you trade that much for a guy like that is the 3-point shot.
Yep. What he can do 2 ways. So like you got that aspect. You got the cat like personal feelings. You know, I could easily see some like, you know, like the beat writers sprinkling out like some Cat's role is not what he thought it was going to be.
Oh
like,
yeah,
he ends up in the corner. OG. Now, I know he got his bag. You probably shouldn't give a shit about anything else after you got paid $200 million. But he is going back to Toronto. He always talked about, I wanted more responsibility on offense. Like I want, and he should not have it. To be frank,
no,
he's not.
Yo, you were a 19-point per game score on a lottery team, bro.
Yeah,
shut up.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want him cooking. Like stay in your like 13 to 15 points.
At least Jeremy Grant put up 27 on the Pistons.
Yeah, at least Jeremy Grant was cooking. Like, I don't know, bro. Like there's a lot of stuff they got to manage behind the scenes that's off the court. So I'm kind of curious to see how that shit plays out. But yeah, on the court, injuries could be a thing with every team, right? Like we could probably go down the list. You know, we'll touch on the Heat. We could talk about Jimmy. Like that's always going to be something. So for me, like when I do these previews, I'd like to at least try to assume good health, right? Because like otherwise you're playing like hypotheticals all night.
And it's actually kind of shitty to be like, yo, nah, he's definitely tearing a ligament this year. It's insane.
Like, can't predict
what
injuries.
Like what are we doing?
I think they're gonna be really good though.
Yeah. These are my playoff teams for the East, by the way.
Okay. You going
Miami?
8?
Yeah.
Okay.
76ers, Magic, Indiana, Bucks, Cleveland, the C's, and the Knicks. And then, you know, the bottom of the East, man, it's going to be some 37 win. Why the fuck does a 7 seed have to play a 34 win team to make the play? That is wasting a game.
It's wild. Yeah, it's hard to really argue with like the state of the East.
Yeah, it's kind of chalked up. But the thing is, the East to me has such good young talent. Like the Magic, they are stifling on defense. Like Jonathan Isaac, I hate to tell you guys, yo, listen to me real clear. You can count on 2 hands how many games that guy played for the first however long, 4 to 5 years of his career. Okay? I know you're falling in love with him after 1 season. Bring that shit back a little bit. Bring it back and remember who he is. I understand when he's on the court, he's a defensive monster. But bring really the love back. Yeah. Franz is going through this weird thing with his shoulder, and I'm not going to say it's permanent, but his shot looked his shot looked broken when he came back from injury.
We just played them in the preseason. I don't think he hit a 3. I could be misremembering, but
it wasn't like he was an elite shooter, but it didn't look like that.
I'm like not – I guess – first off, it's like in the NBA, I feel like you don't really see like – you know how the NFL will have like worst to first?
Yeah.
Like you can never run back the same like 7 from the year before. There's always like a couple surprises.
Yeah.
The Eastern Conference is like
the same.
Pretty fucking chalk.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty like you've got the Wizards, the Hornets, the Bulls, the Raptors, the Pistons,
and the Hawks.
And the Hawks. none of them are surprising to me. Like none of them are making any real push for like
No.
a 7 seed. Like one of them sneaks in as a 6. Like dude, the Nets, Raptors, Bulls, Hawks,
Though
Hornets, Wizards.
those teams are only going to beat each other.
Yeah, under no circumstance are they pushing.
They
So
are the
that's
worst teams in the NBA
so
by
I just listed
a
6
mile.
teams, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh,
And
7.
that's what people look
Detroit,
at with that
Chicago,
Western
Toronto,
Conference.
Washington, Charlotte, Atlanta, Brooklyn. That's 7 teams. There's 15 in a conference.
Those are some
So
of the
like
worst
when you give your
franchises
top
in
8,
history.
there's no one to argue with. The only argument is the order and which 2 are in the play-in or does injury, you know, uh, need a Giannis like for 20 game, whatever. Like you can argue about seeding, but the best 8 teams in the East is not up for debate at all. I don't think
No.
it's just a matter of the order that they're in.
That's why with the Heat, it's like when we're going through injury trouble or even the 76ers, as bad as it gets, you're like, I mean,
Yeah,
if our best players get healthy, we're gonna be in the playoffs and have
yeah,
a shot. Like it is what it is.
yeah.
But with the Magic,
Nice.
I didn't want to go in depth on them. They were just a random name I threw out there.
I'm not as high on them this year, by the way, as the general public.
Yeah, I think they win a lot of games by holding you to 96 and they score 98.
I think
And
they're
I'll
like,
tell you as a Heat fan, that is not sustainable. Because in the NBA today, bro, these teams will get hot at any point in time. It takes one quarter and you're down by 16. So
I don't think like, I think everyone's banking on like guaranteed linear growth from Paolo and Franz. And I
yeah,
do think like Paolo's going to get better, right? Like Paolo's awesome. I like him a lot, but
he has a far way to go.
yeah. And they just don't, I don't want to pull like the Phoenix Tyus Jones. They don't have a table setter, but like KCP just sort of, he has an extra shooter for sure, but they still don't have somebody to
Shooting.
get them in consistent offense. Like it's
Yeah.
still like Paolo in the high pick and roll, taking contested 18 footers. Like,
Cole Anthony.
yeah, like KCP is a talent upgrade, I think, but I don't think he drastically changes like the team outlook to me. Does that make sense? Like, I don't see them drastically different from last year.
I
In
don't
my head,
either.
they are like the same team. Like
Yeah,
I don't know if KCP helps them beat Cleveland last year in the play. Like if he's on that
no,
team, I don't know if that series goes any different. Probably
no,
goes
it
7
doesn't.
and game 7's like the same. So
Yeah,
like I'm predicting like no
growth.
progression. Yeah, no growth, no progression for the Magic.
Yeah,
To me, they're just like a tough, fucking gritty 45 win team in the East who's going to be fucking annoying to play on a Tuesday when you're coming off a back to back and they're fucking Suggs is picking up 94. Like they're kind of annoying and pesky, but I don't see. There's no breakthrough coming, in my opinion. They're
I'll
just
tell
like
you
the
this.
Magic to me. I
Just
hate
like
playing
you
the Magic
said,
though.
yeah, they don't have a table setter. They are. I've said this for years. They are one of the teams like the Bulls that has been so desperate for a point guard that they just draft. They're like the teams that are like, we're just going to draft quarterbacks till we hit one. They
Yeah.
have been drafting a point guard
Yeah.
in every draft for the last like 4 fucking years.
Yeah.
Anthony Black, Cole Anthony. They
Yep.
go get Markel Fultz. Like
Who's
you
out of
don't
the
need
league, by
4
the way,
guards
still.
on your roster, bro. And then they got
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs in the top of the draft. So it's like, what are we doing? None of them. Jalen Suggs was never even an assist guy in college.
Yeah. No. He's a fucking crazy defender. But like,
Oh,
yeah,
he's
not a
all defensive team.
yeah.
And
I still think, bro, that they should
split
I
it.
think they should push chips in for Trae Young.
Well, they do have, I mean, they had money to play with, and they can definitely match the salaries.
And I think they have the defensive infrastructure. You know what I mean? To not like
Yes. Dude, their defense is crazy, dude.
Is crazy.
You look out there, they got 4 guys that are 6'9" plus.
I think that should be a Trae Young team.
It'll be up there.
And I know teams do this when they have 2 young studs who they paid Franz, they will pay Paolo. It's okay to give them like a year or 2 to grow, maybe 3. But like we talked about windows, like do not assume that shit is going to stay static around them or improve. Like it can get worse as guys come and go.
Yeah.
And Trae is like young enough. I think they want to see what they got and how it looks on offense But to your point, you can't win. I don't care how good you are defensively. When you are a bottom third, probably bottom fourth offense, 26th, 24th, you're not winning. You're not winning games. You have to have a good half court offense. I think Trae Young should be on the Magic. Like that's my want to see trade at the deadline. That probably won't happen. I want to see Trae on the Magic.
Yeah, I've been begging for a pick and roll point guard for a minute now. Like that could actually put the ball in the hoop for the Heat.
Trae gets a lot of hate, but as an offensive Helios, I think Trae's a stud on offense.
No, really. Dude, Trae is his stock has gone down from
he's one of those it went too far down to me.
But you know why? You know when people's stock goes down or goes up? Because these NBA players start doing podcasts.
Yeah.
And they start talking a lot.
Yeah, everybody's
got. And then they're like, he's kind of a fucking douchebag. Yeah,
it's kind of like Micah with Dallas.
26-year-old millionaire. He's kind of an asshole. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's like Micah with Dallas. Like the team's not winning games anymore. Yeah. So you hold on to his quotes a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not give away what we're gonna do on defense when we play you.
Right.
Dweeb.
Yeah, so Orlando is like a meh. Where are we going next?
I don't know. I don't want to touch on Cleveland really either. I think they're a good team. They didn't add anybody, but
Strus is out 6 weeks. You saw that?
No, dude. When did this come out?
This was today.
See, if it came out today, I was working and I was doing research and watching the Arkansas game.
That's why I'm here. Yeah, he's missing 6 weeks at least. He sprained his ankle.
That's actually massive because that was literally a super key piece in why they became a at least functional NBA offense.
Semi-functional.
Because they had one shooter.
Yeah.
That could defend, by the way.
He's tough enough to play the other side. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's out 6 weeks.
Donovan Mitchell timeline is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It was portrayed as an assumption by the media. He was gone.
Yes. I've never been more convinced he was gone.
I was like, yo,
I'm happy here. What do you mean?
D Mitch is in the bag, bro. I'm like, yo, Miami is getting Donovan
Mitchell. Bro, you got to be pissed off, bro, because I swear, I fucking swore Dame was done. I swore in my heart of hearts Dame was done. I know you even thought it deep down, but that natural, protection sets in. You're like, nah,
Kris. No, I was saying.
You're like,
Kris, I was tweeting. Holy shit, we did it. We got.
I would have been physically ill, bro.
Next to LeBron James, Dame Lillard is my favorite player. I've told Kris this a million times. Dog, I was up till 1:30 a.m. when I had work at 6 the next morning to watch Dame Lillard on a 30-win fucking Trailblazers team. All right, that's what I was doing. Next to LeBron, he is my favorite player outside the Heat. I thought it was done. Dude, I took a fucking 15-minute restroom break when they said that he got traded to the Bucks. I was like, nah. I'm like,
fuck this.
I got an alert and it said breaking. Dame Lillard has been I said, we did. Milwaukee. Oh no.
You're Googling Joe Cronin Twitter handle.
Fuck you, DMing him.
Yeah, that shit felt personal.
And then, by the way, Bill Simmons he's just a Miami Heat hater. That little
Sixers too. It's fine.
I saw a tweet about him saying that it was the Miami media machine that did that when
he's got on that train.
They literally had reports coming out during the trade thing that was like, we don't want to set a precedent that if you ask for a trade to a certain destination, that's where you're going. They said that.
Yeah.
The Trailblazers front office literally put that, I think, in official statement.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Anyways, but yeah, I thought the D-Mitch timeline was crazy. I really want to get into Milwaukee.
Yeah, real quick on Cleveland, though. They have to trade Jared Allen.
Why? So that was the dude I thought was gone from the get-go. I thought he was gone when the season ended.
Because they're not trading.
It doesn't work with Evan Mobley.
They paid it. Evan Mobley got paid, right? He got the rookie fund max.
Yes.
5 for $200. Yeah. So they're not trading him. He's 22. They're clearly going to see if he can develop a shot.
Jesus, please, God, develop some offensive skill of some sort.
And Bill Simmons, deeming him the next fucking Tim Dunk, whatever the fuck they were. Not saying he's dead, right? He's 22. Not gonna. Yeah. But he can't play.
It ain't looking good.
Yeah. And I dead ass in my heart of hearts believe he got the rookie max off of the last game Cleveland played Boston.
Yeah.
Like that's the lasting impression. Those make players so much fucking.
I
It's
could
like the
see
Derrick
that.
Jones thing. If Dallas would have got dipped after a series where Derrick Jones shot 44% on 4 attempts a game, he's getting a lot more money than he just got in the offseason. So one way or another, they're committed to Evan Mobley, and I just don't think you can have a functional offense if both those guys are non-shooters, which they are right now. So I think one needs to go, and they'll never trade Mobley, so it needs to be Jared Allen. But I don't know if they'll do it.
That I thought I'm dead serious, man. That was my like take in the summer. I was like, oh, Jared Allen, he's dead. I thought it was 100% guaranteed he was gone.
Yeah. Like I think one popular trade that people were floating around in the offseason was, I don't know if it's a 1-for-1. I'm not going to get into all the draft picks, but Jared Allen for Brandon Ingram. I was like, that's interesting.
That could work.
It's interesting.
And they both need it. But
that's what I'm saying. It satisfies New Orleans' want for a big. They don't want to pay BI. Now, I don't know if Cleveland wants BI. That's probably the holdup.
And Jared Allen got bitched in that series.
Yeah. Well, Jared Allen, I think he got bitched in Orlando series, and then
That's what I meant. The Orlando series, he was getting destroyed.
And then he didn't play against Boston with a rib injury. And then reports start leaking, like people in house are like questioning whether he could or whether he like should have played. Like, was he like?
That's what I think Bradley Beal is. Bradley Beal is the guy that won't play hurt.
Yeah, like if he's not 100%, he ain't going out there. And I think that's what happened with Jarrett. But anyways, I think they need to trade him.
Video with Jared Allen. He's like a nerdy guy. I could see him totally checking out mentally after he got dog walked.
He's a weird personality. Like he's
the dude that walks around with a deck of Pokemon cards and says, "Do you want to play?"
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out my brother in fucking 4th grade.
I think he's a really good player, but
yeah, I don't hate, dude. He's a good defensive stopper. He's a good rebounder. I don't dislike him at all.
How's he only 26?
Dude, I know.
He's a baby in the NBA.
Because when he was a rookie in Brooklyn, he was balling out, getting those double doubles on a shit team. And then you're like, yo, he's a good piece. And then he's in your life for 10 years, and you're like, nah, he's
exactly
20, he's 32.
That's where I'm at with like Lively. Like it's just like, bro, it's hard to take the jumps. You know, I'm like, sometimes these guys peak early and they are what they are, which is a really good fucking player. But that next leap it's hard. That's all I'm saying. Like the development shit ain't linear.
That's why Bam, I was questioning Bam for so long. And then really 2 years ago, solidified.
I had jokes with you, calling him, not that he's Ben Simmons, but like, yeah, Ben Adebayo. Like,
yeah,
his confidence like waned. Like sometimes he wouldn't look at the rim, and then he'll pull out like a tween midi, and I'm like, oh, he has skill. Like, yeah, shoot that bitch.
But the Bucks, this is what I want to talk about. So after Jimmy completely bitched them, 2 years ago,
about that series, bro. That shit was crazy. Like the shit Holiday was violent.
In the room you're sitting in with the exact same background. I made a video talking about the Bucks need to have a shape shift of this roster while the stock is still high on these old assets, because I still believe at that point in time, 2 years ago, Brook Lopez would have been sought after. Chris Middleton would have been sought after, and they were old then.
Yeah.
They were old then, and now Chris Middleton's in his mid-30s. Brook Lopez is in his late 30s, and those are, if you keep guys around that long that have been cornerstones of your franchise, that means you are relying on them. Yeah. I do not want to rely on an inefficient Chris Middleton on limited minutes, on limited game time. Health is, you don't know. Chris Middleton can miss the season tomorrow.
Bro, well, to your point, Brook Lopez had back surgery like 2 years ago.
And he's a big.
Yeah, and he's like 36, 30. And like he was critical. Like that shit, they were like the model that everyone, like Brook could protect the rim, Giannis could roam. But Brook could also fucking shoot. Like everyone's looking for that shit. They're like the ones who, like Brook Lopez, that verticality bullshit that he does. He's like the greatest in NBA history at protecting the basket while that motherfucker never comes down. All these players like come down, then they go back up, and they get a foul call, and they're like,
it took the Heat 3 years to adjust to it. We faced him 3 years in a row. It took us 3 years. Like Jimmy finally realized, he's not gonna foul me. I just have to shoot it.
Yeah, he's old, and then he almost signed with the Rockets last year. Like, I don't know if Milwaukee matched or what the hell was going on there, but he almost left. And to your point on Middleton, I don't know if you know, but Middleton had double ankle surgery in the offseason.
Yeah.
Double ankle. The Sixers opened with Milwaukee on Wednesday. He hasn't started playing 5-on-5 yet.
Yeah, I know.
But he's out for the opener.
That's what I meant by he could miss the season tomorrow.
Yeah. And he's
like
one
they
of those,
could announce that and be like, well, actually, he's not recovering as quickly as we thought
that's
he
what I'm
would.
saying. He's also one of those, like his injuries are like Kawhi's.
They're like serious.
It's like that mysterious, and you don't get any crumbs. It's like Chris Middleton ramping up. Motherfucker's been ramping up for a month and a half. Where is he?
Yeah,
I don't know what to make of Milwaukee, bro. I don't know where
Chris
to rank
Middleton
them.
is the win who arguably the best player in the world for his whole career, and you get nothing. I've never heard him speak.
Yeah, it's crazy. Although,
I played him one-on-one at Texas A&M camp.
Busted his ass. Nah.
Yeah, right.
That's great, bro. If you go back and watch that first round series last year too, he was cooking. Damon Giannis were out. He was cooking like as their true number one,
and he was standing still.
Yeah, and he couldn't move. He still got ball left, but yeah, like the older you get, bro, he's hitting 33, 34, couple off double ankle. And I don't know too many guys who've had double something. I think Paul George in OKC had double shoulder surgery, but like I don't like hearing that before the year. PG was like 28 then too, 29, whatever he was.
Yeah,
33, 34. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Golly, yeah,
you think they're gonna be good?
Huh?
Yeah, who they had? Go through. They added Gary Trent.
Yeah, Gary Trent, Torian Prince, and DeLon Wright. They lost Michael Beasley and they lost Patrick Beverly to Israel. Prayers for him getting nuked on.
Shut up, Pat.
But yeah, dude, I think they're trying to make up for what I said Michael Beasley. Hello, Malik Beasley.
Yeah, Malik.
Shout out to the Heat. I think they're trying to make up for it with 3 people.
Yeah.
They're like bringing snipers in. They want backup. They're bringing in a backup for Dame with DeLon, but he's also a defensive guy. But if Dame isn't in the lineup, you're not going to get any of the strengths from DeLon.
Yeah. DeLon's one of those where if you have to elevate him to the first team,
you can't have 2 guys that small in the court at the same time. I don't like them. I know they're going to be a playoff team. Giannis can will them to 50 wins, to be honest. Giannis is that fucking good, guys. I hate to say Giannis is that fucking good.
He's had a couple like playoff, last 2 years. Like I'm not saying he's injury prone. I'm just saying, like, I don't know.
I'm with that
play style, like, I don't know, just maybe something.
It is the 80. It is cool to be the guy that is the best player on the team. That is the hardest working, hardest playing guy. But at the same time, bro, take a Xanax.
Watching Giannis, because
fucking take a nap. Let your brother play.
Like my favorite player, he'll take nights off. Clearly, like on the court. Like that's why I like watching Giannis. That motherfucker never stops, bro. Like he never ever. He's got that like prime Westbrook motor.
Yeah,
he's the best player in the world. So like I respect him a lot.
That's what's almost shitty about watching Russ now, not to get off topic, but it's like he's still playing as hard as he can, but he's fucking bad.
And he was never a shooter, but like he cannot shoot at all. Like that, the middies evaporated too.
It's rough to watch.
I mean, what about Dame?
I don't know what the Bucks do.
Dame just turned 34. Where are we at on Dame? His season last year, that offense last year.
Yeah, I think he
developed a 2-man game. Like the whole year,
it was. They have Doc Rivers as a coach.
Yeah.
He isn't really good at utilizing stars. And like putting them in actions. I would say he is more of a y'all are out on the court. Y'all do y'all.
Yeah.
And when I need to draw up a play, and the thing is, Doc Rivers is actually a great ATO play caller. He's a great out of timeout play caller. Like that's like one of his reputations. He can get an open shot. But
Dame 24 a game, 42% from the field, 35 from 3.
And you know what? Dame is not the dude. And Doc Rivers let it out. Dame did not. And this is the shit Doc does that I don't like, and I've never really liked about him, other than him being a Celtics coach and living off one ring.
That shit's generational.
He says shit that should stay in the locker room, and it's weird when it comes from a coach. You don't tell people that your second best player took the whole year off because he knew he was getting traded. But I do believe that happened. Now, does that cause you to not know how to make a layup anymore? I don't think so. And
Yeah.
if you took a year off and you're so healthy and charged up, how do you basically they're scared that you're going to tear your Achilles in the playoffs?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Uh,
know where I fall on him. Like when you're watching stars age out, you never know until like 3 years
it
later.
happened.
And then you're like, it happened. You never know in real time. And I'm like, I guess what I'm asking is, are we there with Dame?
I can't. Me,
Or
I
was
can't
last year
personally
like,
say that
yeah,
because
or
we
like
thought it
was
was
last
done
year a
for
blip
Curry
on
a
the
couple
radar?
years ago
Yeah, true.
when he
Because
was injured and missing games.
yeah, the year before last, Dame 32 a game, 46% from the floor, 30.
I
Like
watched
that
damn
was
near every
just the
dribble,
year prior. Yeah,
but that's
he
what
was.
happens with guards.
Yeah, I know,
CP got washed in an offseason.
dude, bro. He was fucking balling on that finals run with Phoenix. The
Yes,
next year, he was done, like
yes.
done.
So, and once again, that stat I somebody tweeted that Bill Simmons stat that he said that there's only been one guard ever to average over 5 assists a game at 39, and it was John Stockton. And he said there's only been 11 guards ever to play until they were 40
Damn,
at that height.
before he's a long time, bro. Yeah, the small guard thing. Yeah,
And
we
Dame is a
talked.
small guard,
Yeah, we
and
talked
he
about
can.
it. I've heard you talk about it with Brunson, and he's like 28, just like
Yeah,
that. When you're taking on that type of workload as a small guard, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know if we're there with him or if last year was. I know he had a lot of mental stuff going on too. He didn't think
he
it
had a
was Milwaukee.
divorce.
Yeah, and a divorce. Yeah, he had a lot of
Um,
shit.
the one thing too is that the difference between him and Steph evolved his game.
Yeah,
Got bigger in the gym, and he
yep,
was a dude. It was Steph is was already one of the greatest players ever, and then he came back in his year 35 season, and he was finishing at a rate that I've never seen him
yeah.
finish at.
He looks
So
like he's in his prime. Like there's
yes,
been no athletic drop off with Steph.
I just haven't seen an adjustment from Dame, and I'm not saying it's needed when you can shoot from half court, but
Well, and that's to your point. Like, I don't think he can. There's only like one Steph Curry, like the maniacal, like off the ball running his cart. Like nobody plays like that.
no,
Dame has always been a get me the ball. I'm gonna bring it across half. We're gonna play high pick and roll. I'm gonna jack from 30. I'm gonna average 6, 7 dimes a game. Like, but to your point, like the finishing, that's the thing that goes too. Like
yes,
when you start to lose like just a tick of athleticism, and you're jumping, I don't know, a couple inches shorter, and like these guys put thousands and thousands of hours in shots. When it's off like a little bit, and the defender's on your hip, he's like a half step closer than he used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like that little explosion drop off
is
can
enough.
affect, especially, yeah, that's enough. Like the windows are so fucking small in the NBA, especially as a small guard. So
And
like,
that's why I don't think he needs. So this sounds dumb, right? He is a secondary scorer on this team, but and I'm not. I hate doing the he needs to be on the Heat thing because that's not how I feel. I'm saying the transition of his career would fit better in a spot where there isn't one star or one dude that can get a bucket around you. He would
yeah,
he would go off into the sunset in a better situation if he has guys like Jimmy and Bam around him that can average 20 and not have one dude that can average 30 and have all these aging guys or just role players like Bobby Portis is going to be their third leading scorer next year, in my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. If we're talking games qualified, yeah, he probably will
Yes.
be. Yeah. It's great because, like, to your point, in a perfect world, if you told me Chris Middleton was coming in full health and gave you a full year,
Yeah.
like you can work with that. But he's in and out like every 3 fucking nights. It's hard to build
Chemistry.
it's hard to build a style of play. Yeah, and like Giannis is going to average 30, yeah, but when they traded Drew for Dame, they did it because their half court offense always fucking bogged down. Like the reason they got Dame was to revitalize a half court offense that was dead. Because you can't give Giannis the ball from three most of the time and just let him go, right? Like he's a 30-point per game scorer, unlike probably anyone in history. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
need someone perimeter oriented, and Middleton at least gives you that second valve. Like when they won the title, we watched that shit. Like I remember Kendrick Perkins going on ESPN, like, "Are we sure Kris ain't the Batman and Giannis is Robin?" dumb shit like that. But Middleton was playing that fucking good. Like they needed his half court creation
And
off
his
the pick
skill
and roll
set
with
fits a
yeah,
closer.
yeah,
And that's not,
yes, exact. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't
yeah,
just give the ball to Giannis when you're down 2 with 12 seconds to play from 3 and just let him go because
yeah.
he can't. He's got I don't want to say no bag like Harden did, but he's like dribble once, spin once. Like that's you need a guy who can hezzy tween, high pick behind the back.
Yep.
Reject the screen.
And that's
I
where
don't know.
Giannis has had his playoff failures really is those close series at the end of games
Yes, when you
where
if you
you
get up
have
tight,
a defensive, and we've really seen him get not exposed, but kind of shit on by the Heat a little bit because we kind of just have the personnel
yeah,
to match his physicality, and that's
yeah,
kind of our whole mantra as a franchise.
yeah.
But you see
Not
those
everyone
late
has a
game
Bam.
situations, bro. What Giannis isn't gonna hurt you with jumpers, bro. Lay
Yeah,
off and put
yeah.
three
You'll live
people in the paint.
Yeah, you'll live with that shit. You'll let him shoot all day.
Yeah, and if you want to pass it out to Bobby Portis in the corner, hey, if Bobby Portis beats me in the fourth quarter, I
Yeah,
fucking lost.
yeah. You tip the cap to that one, bro.
But yeah, not too high on the Bucks this year.
They're still
Let's
a
get to your
playoff
squad,
team.
man.
Are they a contender though, Milwaukee? Like,
No,
can you see in a perfect world
no,
where Milwaukee wins the chip?
no.
No, not even
That
if
would
Middleton's
take
given full health.
a dude. To me, the thing is, full health for Chris Middleton right now
Yeah, I know.
is
We're
not
talking.
full health
Yeah,
at 28.
yeah, it's hypotheticals. I know,
Yeah, it's like
but it's weird to say a team with Dame and Giannis is not a contender in my brain. It's like hard to compute. But I
yeah,
just cannot shake what the fuck we saw last year. That looked like a team. Last year they reminded me when they were winning with Adrian Griffin, 30-13 before they fired him. The analogy I have been making, they looked just like the 10-1 Eagles last year. Like they would escape with a win, but it just like didn't. The games weren't looking how they were supposed to look. It's hard to explain, but I know you know what I'm. I know you know what I'm saying.
I actually I get what you're saying because when Dame first got there, it was funky.
Yeah,
It
which is
it was
fine.
like
That stuff takes time, but it's crazy that
y'all.
over a full
How
year
did
it
y'all
never
win
looked.
it?
Yeah, never
Y'all
looked
didn't
normal.
look good all night. Y'all won by talent, and I just don't think.
Their offense finished like 17th or like they were like middle of the road. That's the whole reason they traded for Dame. I don't know. It was just weird.
Yeah, I'm just not high on them, and this is the first year, the last in Giannis's prime. I said they are not a contender because if Giannis was Luka and he had somebody else, his skill set does not give me he can will you to a chip with mediocre around him. And I'm not saying he isn't that great. I'm saying his skill set does not match that.
Yeah.
But
And did you see before we move on the
yeah,
Giannis like trade quote? Have you seen
yes,
that?
very weird. I like that. The backwards. I want to get traded.
Yeah, he opened up the door.
Yeah, if I don't want to
100%.
win, if I don't win
Yeah.
a ring with my worst roster
Yeah.
ever, you're gonna have to
Yep.
trade me. I should.
At
I
any
could get
given
traded.
moment, if you don't succeed, that might be it for us. It was the same way with the previous coaching staff and the year before the players before. If you don't do a good enough job, you're out.
But also,
Yeah,
I
if
hate
we
to.
don't win a championship, I might get traded. Yeah, this is the job we live. Like,
I'm not
come on.
saying.
You,
I'm not saying
nobody's fucking
Giannis is
trade
dumb.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying Giannis is dumb by any means. He is from a different country, and I think he speaks
I kind of lost in
English
translation.
literally.
Yeah.
And he also wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to basketball. I've seen
Yeah,
him
he
cry
does.
at a podium several times.
I love Giannis, bro.
Yes, he's very candid. He's upfront and honest, and he just says what's on his mind. So he could be speaking from that like it's keeping him up at night. Like, fuck, man, I
Yeah.
got to bring another championship. Like, I'm not better than anybody else. Like, that's how I took it, even though NBA Twitter ran with it as, nah,
Yeah.
this kind of dope way to ask for a trade. It was a weird quote, though. If that came out of I don't know, I'm not going to say an American player's mouth, but yeah, then if that came out of LeBron's mouth, he's asking for a trade. He's asking for a trade.
Because that sounds like something like Joel would say like 4 years
Yes.
ago. Yeah. That sounds like a Joel quote. Like,
Yeah.
bitch, you know we ain't fucking trading you unless you walk in there and ask for one. So,
Trading Giannis is hilarious. There's no trade package that would equal it. I wanted to get to your squad.
All right. Before that, do we want to hit Indiana? Or
I
no
literally had
thoughts?
Indiana right here with their rotation and everything. Yeah.
Let's hit Indiana because I want to go our two squads last so we can like really hit them.
Yeah.
Because we can. I'll end up rambling on Philly.
Yeah, me too.
What you got on
Indiana.
Indiana? What like
I like them as a regular season team, and we saw Halliburton miss like a significant time for really a serious injury for the first time in his career where it had significance, and he
was
came
not the
back
same.
early.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
he
not the
came
same the
back
rest of the year.
early. He was trying to get the awards, and I get it. But I love their team. I do. I think Miles Turner had like a career-altering epiphany at some point where he became like a really good starting center in the NBA.
Yep.
Halliburton, T.J. McConnell, Miles Turner, Nembhard,
TJ.
Pascal Siakam, Obi Toppin has become a very good NBA player.
He
He
got a little
still
bit
gets
more
out
than
of
he should
pocket.
have, but yeah,
He gets out of pocket a couple times
yeah,
a game where he thinks he's the star, but
yeah, yeah. He'll
he
start
does a
shooting some shit
East
where I'm
Bay
like,
dunk
yeah,
and he thinks he's the shit.
yeah,
James Wiseman is a very good addition just to bring depth with the size. Once again, that comes off the Boston series, I would imagine, even though they were down to crumbs of players. Benedict Mathurin, man, he
oh, yeah.
he
He's
showed
coming back.
flashes, and
Yeah,
then he would turn into a rookie again.
yeah. He's a weird
And
one.
then Neesmith was a guy that the Celtics had that when he came in the game, I wasn't going like, yo, Neesmith's nice, but then he got some run with the Pacers, and he is electric. You
Bro.
instantly feel his impact when he's in the game. He's fucking everywhere.
Smith is nice, bro. I like him a lot.
He is, dude. He is making a play on defense. He's
Yeah,
scrappy.
yeah.
He's
You
big.
feel him on you. If you're a casual, just turn on one game, you feel him on the screen.
You're like, yo, who's that dude? He's a
Yeah,
fucking tryhard. And
yeah,
he is. And that's why I like him. And that's what Indiana needs that mostly with their play style, their pace, the way that they run up and down the court. Even if you're giving up a lot of points, if you can get 7 possessions of Neesmith fucking wreaking havoc on their ass,
yeah.
you got to take
Run
it
around here on fire. I
because
don't know, bro.
with that offense, you turn that into 14 points.
Yeah, I just like they're like the reverse Magic, right? Like I just don't think they can guard anyone.
Nobody.
And like if I don't like we could go back across every year. Like I know you used to hit on some of the Golden State runs, like that no one will ever remember unless you were like prime in hater mode. Like I will not forget that they got this team without so and so. Ja went down first round. This like that was very clearly Indiana to me last year. Like
Yeah.
I don't think they beat Milwaukee if Giannis and Dame are playing. Like
Fuck no.
so, and they went to the East Finals. So it's like hard to shit on a team that just went to the East Finals, but I'm going to choose
They're
to do
a
so.
5 seed.
I don't think they're a contender because I don't think they can stop. I don't think they can guard anybody. I don't care how good your offense is. I just don't think you can play like that.
Yeah.
That game
That's gonna be a
7
team.
against the Knicks was one of the craziest. Dog, I've never seen a team that hot. Like a whole that shit was insane, bro. I don't remember what the stats were at half. I was out of
in
body.
coping mode for the first couple games of that series.
Yeah, for sure. Same. That shit was hard to watch. We just got bounced.
But they are young, and once again, young teams in the NBA that are talented
Yep.
win enough games to make an impact. And this is a well-coached team. I know Mavs fans turned on Rick Carlisle all of a sudden. I don't know what it is with certain fan bases. It is not just the Mavs fan base. It's just the one we're around. Why do people assume that this fucking coach is going to tank? Or it's weird because they play both sides of the fence. He should have tanked, but on the other side, they're like, no, play the young players, but he shouldn't tank. No, you either tank or you're trying to win. A lot of coaches don't play young players, man. There is a lot of coaches, most of them, 85% of them don't play young players unless it is a necessity for them to play.
Yes. That's the biggest, like, that's a great point. That's like everybody who supports a team, they all talk like their coach is the only guy that doesn't play.
They think they're the only team out there.
And it is literally everyone. I'll never forget when we moved on from Doc and brought Nick Nurse in. They were like, oh, maybe Doc never touched the young guys. Maybe Nick will. And it's like, no, bro, they're all trying to win.
Yes.
Like they see stuff that we don't, you're not afforded as a quasi contender at the very least. Like Detroit, they can play young guys because they fucking suck. They're going to lose either way.
They got to see what they got.
Yeah. You can't play like a Ricky Council, for example, if he doesn't know how to, hedge high and then rotate to the corner. Like it's the shit like that we don't see. Like we just see Can they shoot? Can they drive? Can they dribble? Can they play? It's like the small, intricate. If you can't run the system, the coach is not going to fucking put you out there if they don't trust you. Like, no, to your point, no coach plays young guys when you're trying to really, really win. Young guys
Yes.
do not play. They
No.
don't. Yeah. So everyone needs to quit that shit.
That
Nobody
was
does
the
that.
anomaly last year when Jaime Jaquez was playing and Tyler Hero was out of the lineup and he's making an impact. I'm like, Spo ain't gonna let this go on. But fortunately, he was a guy that stayed all his years in college and he knows how to play the game of basketball. Those are guys that get the run.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yo, play Nikola Jovic. Dude, he's fucking 19. He doesn't know shit.
Yeah, he's not ready yet. Yeah.
Fucking idiots. But I do like Indiana as a regular season team. And they're just exciting to watch, dude. They're a fucking annoying ass team to play.
They're fun
because
that's a league pass team for sure. I like watching Allie play, bro.
You get 5 stops on them. You get an 11-point lead, and you're like, okay, into the third, dude. 2 minutes into the fourth, you're down by 4. You're like, yo, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, fucking TJ McConnell happened. Yeah, shit's
we
crazy.
Missed 4 shots. How are we? What is going on? Like that's what happens with this.
All right, we on my boys now.
It's time.
I need a Sixers hat. This one looks too much like Dallas, but
so 76ers last year, 14th in offense, 11th in defense, 47 win team. Their best player only plays 30 games a year. You add Caleb. I'm gonna go on a Caleb rant when I get to my team. You get Drummond back, which I think is huge addition. One of the greatest rebounders ever. You get obviously one of the best players in the league, Paul George. You re-sign Maxey. You go get Reggie Jackson, and you get Eric Gordon. You lose the cornerstone of Tobias Harris.
You don't even speak his name anymore.
Yeah. How you feeling about the upcoming season? Like, honestly, like what are your hopes here?
So first off, like I was texting you the other day, it'd be nice to watch a preseason game without losing someone. We lost Paul George to a hyperextension. Jared McCain, who, he's probably not going to be a regular rotation guy. I'm not going to freak out about that. And then Maxey, they said it was a thumb contusion. He left the game in 5 minutes in. For some reason, he's playing in the last preseason game. After every beat reporter I follow is like, you shouldn't expect to see any starters tonight. They announced the lineup. It's like everyone that's healthy goes a go. And I was like, it's fine. Like Maxey never gets hurt. Of course, 5 minutes in, the motherfucker exit. They say it's a thumb contusion. I personally am a sucker for this shit. Like when athletes log on Instagram or Twitter and they give you the all good. Like I fucking love that shit. And there's been no story posted and I'm like, just as a cursed, we don't always disclose what the injury actually is. I'm like, is it just a contusion? Like, is he good? Because opening night's on Wednesday. And
comes out on a cast on opening day with a cast on his.
That's what I'm saying. And one sicko thing that I've been doing ever since, not to pivot to football real quick, but when Jalen Hurts hurt his shoulder against Chicago, I'll never forget. I just so happened to be checking the MVP odds and our spread the following week against the Raiders. I think it was the Raiders. And they took the line completely off the board for his MVP odds and the Eagles game. And I learned then that Vegas always gets the news before the general public.
Yep.
And a couple hours later, Schefter drops a tweet. He's out with a shoulder. He's going to miss a couple games, yada, yada. So I have been stalking the opening line against Milwaukee. I'm talking every 2 hours, stalk to see if that shit moves. So it started at 4.5. PG gets hurt. It drops to 3.5. I'm checking it all day today, all in the morning. I checked it a couple hours ago, maybe before we got on the pod. It down from 3.5 to 2.5. And I'm like, please tell me that's just the money moving because people are betting Milwaukee, the line's dragging down. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. And also in my head, I'm like, how is Maxey only worth 1 point? I've always found those lines to be fucking weird. But anyways, that's a spiel for another day. So opening night, we got Milwaukee on Wednesday. PG's out with a hyperextension. My sicko ass went back and looked at his hyperextension with the Clippers because he had the same injury on the other knee. Lou Dort fell into his knee. He got hurt on March 22nd going into the playoffs in 22-23. They said he'd be reevaluated in 2 to 3 weeks. And we know what that means, right? Like people see that and they think they're back in 2 to 3. They never are. It's like that's when they're going to get checked again.
Yeah.
I went and tracked date by date the Phoenix series where Kawhi got hurt game 1, where he went fucking like super robot. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
I think Russ blocks Devin Booker like down the stretch. They win game 1, that game.
Yep.
Kawhi gets hurt in that game. We never see him again. That series ended April 25th. PG got hurt March 22nd. PG never came back. That was a hyperextension. Bone bruise. Same thing. No ligaments, no tendons, none of that.
It's usually a 4 to 6 week injury.
Yeah, so it's all severity too, right? Like you just don't know unless I'm the doctor seeing the fucking MRI or the X-ray.
And I'm assuming they'd play it safe at this beginning of the season.
100%, they will. Paul George didn't play an opening night. No way.
No.
So he got hurt on Tuesday in the preseason. They said he'll be reevaluated in 1 week. And he walked off the court this time. Last time he was down, like writhing in pain, like they had to help him off. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be better than the previous hyperextension. So he's reevaluated in a week. He went on the pod today. Actually, I saw a clip where he said he'll be back sooner than later. I don't know what the fuck sooner. Yeah, so it's like as usual, it's all up in the fucking air. No one knows. And it's annoying as a fan. Like you bring in like a high price dude. You want to show off like the shiny new toy on opening night in Philly. Like it's against Milwaukee.
I was about to ask, does it take away anticipation for the season?
No, because from what he said and the team has said, he's good for the long term. Now, hopefully it's not like a month, right? Like hopefully he misses like a week of games, week and a half. Maybe he's back for like game 6, game 7. Because you really want to build chemistry. It's kind of like what we talked about with Milwaukee. Like none of these guys know how to play together. Joel hasn't played a single preseason game. He hasn't scrimmaged 5-on-5. The Milwaukee line tells me he's playing, but I've never heard something this quiet on opening day. Like nobody fucking knows if Joel is playing.
It's weird.
It's the weirdest shit I've ever heard. So it doesn't take away from the season, but this is one of the weirder seasons because I went into the offseason after we got Paul as excited as I've been, probably as a Sixers fan. And now there's all this like Joel says I'm probably never playing back-to-backs again for the rest of my career. Like
I was about to bring that up when you brought up all the injuries.
It's fucking weird. We play 15 back-to-backs this year. There goes 15. He's probably going to miss some 3 games in 4 nights, when they do these like long extended road trips.
Yeah, and that's why you bring in a guy like PG.
Yeah, but they also said they're going to manage Paul, which, let's be real, we need to. He's 34. He's had his own injury stuff. He played 70 games last year for the Clippers, but that was an anomaly. So it's like, are you resting them on opposite nights? Are you resting them the same night? Are you going to play 30 games with your full roster and have enough chemistry built up by the time the playoffs come around? And that's just banking on no other injuries, right? Like that's if stuff goes best case, they're not playing. What if they pick up a Nick, which they have shown they will. Paul misses 2 weeks. He comes back 3 games later. Joel goes down for. So it's like, it's fucking annoying being a Philly fan because I look at some other team and like everyone deals with it to an extent. I guess it's just because it's Joel, like our best player.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, it'd be nice to watch like Tatum. Like I hate Tatum, but like it'd be nice to know like that guy is going to be on the court. Like I don't have to turn push notifications on to my beat reporters. Oh, Joel's shooting pregame. He looks fine. I think he's going to give it a go. That shit is so tiresome. So like it's hard to get invested into the regular season as a Philly fan as it has been in the past. Like especially this upcoming
Same.
year.
Mostly
like,
for my team.
Yeah, but, and you're the same way. Yeah, like Jimmy, like mark off 20 games.
Yeah.
Like he ain't playing.
And
so
that's where I posed the question at the beginning of the year, or when we did our first NBA pod months ago. I said, are you sure that you want the big splash, or would you rather use that money and the resources to fill out a roster?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Because you're one injury away from shit like this happening, and you're going, holy fuck, bro, we could drop 5 games in a 10-game stretch, and we're 5-5, and we're already behind the 8 ball in the beginning of the season. And
yeah, and I remember us talking about it, right? Like PG was obviously the first target. It felt so fucking unrealistic. Remember like all the trade to the Warriors, like he wanted to stay on the West Coast. Like I thought it was done. I remember I asked you, and even you said, I'd rather have Paul George. Which I was surprised. It's, we fall on different sides of the spectrum with PG. Like I've always liked Paul. there's a ton of people like you who are like playoff dropper. Like I get all that shit's valid.
I'm the
But it's,
playoff guy.
yeah, but it's like for me at the time when your alternative is OG Anunoby, maybe, which was never a thing. He resigned with New York, or Brandon fucking Ingram. Like I don't want BI at all. Or apparently DeMar DeRozan. It's
Yeah.
Paul George by a fucking mile. Because like
Yeah.
when you're
Agreed.
trying to compete with the Bostons of the world, like what is like a deeper
A Najee Marshall.
like what is that shit gonna do when you don't have the star power, right? Like when you build these teams, you have to assume as a GM when you put them together that they're going to be healthy when it's time to roll.
Yeah.
Like you can't go pay a backup center $30 million because you're expecting Joel, right? Because it's a stupid fucking investment. That guy's not going to be playing, and if he is, your season's fucked anyways, right? Like I always go back to this like Peyton Manning clip. The guys ask him why the backup didn't get more run in practice, and the coach said, "Because if 11 goes down, we're fucked, and we don't practice fucked." Like that quote has always stuck with me, and it's very true. Like there's no point. So yeah, it's like a long-winded way of saying the regular season is gonna be frustrating as fuck. Like it's, and you know me, I don't. Unfortunately, I'm not able to not watch like when the pregame inactives come out and it's no Joel tonight, no Paul, and it's Maxey and Kelly Oubre versus the fully healthy.
We sit there.
I watched Pat Bev go toe to toe with them to the very end of the fourth, and we lost, and that shit hurt just as bad as any other game does. Like, so maybe that's a me thing. I've got to get better because the team is telling the fans the regular season is going to be bumpy. Like we're not. Joel's come out and said, you've heard all the reports, all his quotes. Like, I'm done caring about MVP. I'm done caring about all NBA. And that shit bothers me as a fan. Like, you know that. I'm big on like put Joel's legacy in the right bottle. You know, that shit bothers me. So it sucks to know he's not going to be eligible for all NBA. It sucks to know he's not going to be eligible for MVP. But if he's claiming he doesn't care, why should I care? Because the goal is honestly, like we've talked about this a bunch, bro. And call it excuse making. It can be. It's half and half. He's got one healthy postseason his entire life, and that was the bubble season where Ben Simmons was out, and his second best player was Josh fucking Richardson. And we got our ass swept in the bubble by Boston 4-0. Al Horford was a fucking inside agent. Him and Tobias Harris averaging 8 points a game.
That was crazy.
He's got one healthy run, and his second best player was Josh Richardson. So, like, and every fucking year we get to the playoffs, we talk about this. And I wake up and it's a Woj noti or a Shams noti, like meniscus, like, oh, fractured orbital. Like it's some fucking random bullshit every year, bro. Every single year. I just want to be able to turn on a series. Best team wins. You know what I'm saying? Like best team fucking wins. We get packed up. That's fine. I don't even want to excuse make for him and be like, you know, he just came back he's on one leg. Like I'm so fucking exhausted of I just want to be able to watch. Best on best. If we lose, that's fine. I mean, it'll hurt all the same, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it'd be nice to get him to the postseason healthy. So, if they think that this program is going to help him do that, then who am I to argue? But, yeah, this is the most top end talent we've ever had. Maxey is. I think Maxey is a better player than Jimmy Butler was when he was in Philly. Personally, Jimmy was a better two-way guy, but I think Maxey's a better player now than Jimmy was then, at least in my head. Maybe Jimmy wasn't perceived as what he is now back then. You know, this was probably 6 years ago now.
He got you to Eastern Conference Final, Kris.
Oh, we never hit the East Finals.
Oh, I'm an idiot. He got you one game away from an Eastern
game
Conference.
7. That's what I'm saying. I'll never forget that game 1. Remember that game 1 against Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Jimmy had like a 40 ball and nobody showed up. Like we lost the opening game to Brooklyn, then backdoor swept them.
Yeah, that's when D'Angelo was going banana.
Yeah, D'Lo was going nutty, and Jared Dudley was talking that talk to Joel. Joel was like, first of all,
him and Ben Simmons got into it.
They had those "Where's Ben Simmons" signs all out of Brooklyn.
That shit's crazy.
That shit was fun, but I think Caleb Martin's a great signing. I'll let you rant. I think for $8 million, that's a great signing.
It is.
That walks into the year with nobody. Caleb Martin got Max Christie.
I don't hate on Caleb Martin and what he brings to a team. I hated how the Heat fans acted like he was a 30-point per game scorer that we lost.
I am not naive to the fact that there is no fucking way, knowing what happens to Philly and shooters when they come on our team, that he's going to shoot 50% from 3 in a 2 playoff. Like that shit's not going to
You
happen.
know,
You never know, but that's that Heat devil magic we always talk about. Like that shit ain't happening. But he's a good 5th starter type.
no,
Like
he is,
a
and
good.
he fits in what y'all try to do.
He
And
he doesn't need the ball. He knows his role. He's a good cutter. He's a good on ball like he's a tough nose. Like you for a team that has never had athletic wings for as long as I've been an adult. It's fun to have PG, Kelly Oubre, and Caleb Martin now. Like it's fun to have
yeah,
athletes who can run in space. Less so Paul George, but
and what he's gonna bring, and you're gonna get frustrated with it
I
every
know
once in a
I
while.
can already tell.
Um, he is a great rim penetrator, like getting past somebody and getting there. And maybe he got better at it in the offseason because he kind of grew in his offensive role personally, not by design. In his own mind, he grew on the
Yeah.
Heat. When he gets into the paint, sometimes he doesn't know what the fuck to do with it.
I've already seen a little bit of that in the preseason. The preseason
Oh,
been
really?
weird. Well, because
Yeah.
we've been without Joel and PG.
So he's getting
And,
run.
well, yeah, and when Maxey went out, Caleb was bringing the ball up. And you can tell he is like true like connector to his heart. He needs to be a cog with a couple stars. When he gets he like dribbles around, he's kind of like, who do I pass it off to? Like
in the playoffs, he plays
caught.
hot potato if he's bringing the ball up.
Yeah, that's how he was last preseason game against Orlando.
And
so
that's
I'm already
just
seeing.
He brings a lot of elements that y'all are gonna like in Philly. Yeah, y'all are gonna like him a lot. He does get a little frustrating with the driving and kind of doing the get caught in the air, chunk it up, throw it out of bounds shit. But
and he's
other
got like
than
that
he's
weird like
a good player.
Like not a hitch in his shot, but like he's got that like weird. You know what I'm saying?
It's odd.
It's like
I never thought any shot he shot was going in.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now.
And
Even
they all went in
right
against the Celtics.
They all went in against Boston. Like
So,
he shot a catch and shoot set shot against Orlando, and he didn't jump at all. Like it was like a who shoots without jumping much. It's like a big man who's kind of uncomfortable out there.
Yeah,
and splatted it. But it's funny when he's
Vucevic like shot.
Yeah, but when he's like catching it in motion, he like full vertical, like the weird elbow thing, and then it like
that's why it doesn't make any sense to me because and a glimmer of light, he has become a much better shooter every year that he was a starter for us. Like that's the 2.5 years that he kind of went into like starter minutes. He wasn't like on the starting roster, but starter minutes. He did become a much better spot up shooter.
So he might be like a rhythm and flow guy. Like
he is.
It might take a sec for sure, but yeah, 4 years, 32 mil, especially because he turned down. Was it 4 for 65? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, and his agent said that he deserved more.
CJ McCollum squeezed the whole middle class. Caleb thought he could get more on the market, so he went to test it and shit fell out the bottom.
God.
Yeah, because I know he would have put y'all like right at the second. Like your team would have been. There's no flexibility at all.
Yeah,
like
and I didn't want him.
Locked in. And maybe
I didn't want him back.
Yeah, maybe you would have liked that. He probably wasn't worth that money, but for 8 a year, I mean he's making the same as Kelly Oubre.
No, that's a steal.
Basis. Yeah,
that is a steal.
Kelly Oubre turned into like our primary defender last year. Like he played Jalen Brunson pretty fucking well. Like it's games 1 and 2, Brunson was shooting. He shot tour dates games 1 and 2. I can't believe we didn't win both games. That shit's crazy. But Kelly Oubre's like bought in.
Kelly and he gets in that foul bag. He gets a little too aggressive when you start scoring on him.
Oh, and his shot diet on offense has to chill out. Like he still got a little like Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Like forgets what team he's on. He like,
bro, my turn. Damn.
Yeah. Apparently last year he shot 37% on like uncontested threes, so like a league average tick above. On contested threes, he was 25%. So as long as like Kelly is like just buy into your role, I like him a lot. But the weird thing is again, I can rant on this all day. So if you want me to stop, just shout. But
letting you go.
Nick Nurse has been playing Caleb Martin off the bench in the preseason, even with Paul out, even with Joel out.
That should be his role.
So that's interesting because I don't know if I agree. And what it's looking like opening night, even if PG was healthy, I think Eric Gordon is going to be our 5th starter to start the year. And that's weird. Like guys, like we talked about him in Phoenix, like he's way past his. Now he will catch and shoot with no hesitation. which I'm sure the coaches fucking love that. He'll pull from 30, but he can't defend. I don't think at this point in his career.
Watching him try to defend at like
Yeah.
38 is
Yeah, that's what I'm
fucking
saying.
crazy.
So obviously Nurse is going to have to decide, is the trade-off worth it? And again, I think Eric Gordon I really do think he walks out week 1 as a starter, day 1. I don't think he ends the year as the starter. I think Caleb Martin eventually takes that 5th spot. I think in a perfect world, I think it's going to be Maxey, Paul, Joel, Kelly, and Caleb. I think by mid-year, end of the year, that's going to be the 5, maybe the closing 5.
Yeah, I just think with Caleb, I wasn't saying that's his role for your team. I'm saying the way he plays off the bench is it fit. The way he plays is much more fitting for a bench role. I know y'all need that in the starting lineup, like a body that can do something out there. But to me, his natural role is coming in off the bench and kind of being an energizer on the defensive end, and maybe getting you a couple buckets here and there, getting you a crazy dunk to get the crowd going, type shit.
Yeah, just like some connective. Because when you said he hot potatoes, it can be a good thing. Like, he keeps the ball moving. He really doesn't stop it. You know, like
he cuts every time he passes.
Yeah,
every fucking time he's
moving. So I know Nurse likes that, but yeah, Nurse was trying out Gordon in the preseason, and I'm like, okay, I guess
run it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with it, but we'll see. And then Joel typically plays the entire first, the entire third. So he plays all of quarter 1, misses the first 6 minutes of quarter 2, then
third
comes
quarter
in.
Joe.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
So I would imagine, I think Reese and Paul George are going to sub out together, and then they're going to let Joe just be the ultimate floor raiser with whatever reserves come in. And then to start quarter 2, I think Maxey and Paul will be out there to try to man the second units that have fucking bled points since the beginning of my time as a fan. And they'll try to see if Paul George can be the one to stabilize that second unit. But
yeah, those off and on numbers are gross.
It's like, I hate that shit is like such loser mentality, but it's like, man, when you win, when you're beating the Knicks by 48 points when he's on the floor and he's off the court for 47 minutes and you lose those by 43, like, you cannot bleed a point per minute and expect to win a playoff. It's like, but I've been having this talk since the beginning of time. So
him and Jokic have very similar on and off numbers.
No, and a lot of that is like, some cases it's less so how shitty the backup is and more so like, I remember Daryl telling Joel, well, duh, you're off the floor.
Yeah.
Like, you're just, you're that, like, some of these players.
You're everything.
Yeah,
to this,
that shit happens.
Yeah.
But I think Joel has been like, we can't bleed that much. Like, we can't lose the game. So yeah, we gave Drummond $5 million a year for a backup. I think I'm sure they talked to him before the year about, hey, Joel's not playing back to back. So in Drummond's head, he's a starter for a fourth of the year, so I'm sure he likes signing up for that.
And he wants that rebound record.
No, he does. Yeah. He'd be chasing them for sure. I know he's going to be frustrating as fuck some nights, and I don't know how much it's saying, but he's probably the best backup big in the league. I mean, probably. He's the best backup Joel's ever had. I know that.
Him and Gafford, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, for sure. Like, he gets a little bit too much dip on his chip sometimes and starts like trying to dribble and throw like behind the head pass. But yeah, he can close the possessions on defense. He's a little foul prone, but like, it's a backup big, right? You're paying him $5 million a year. So like, again, we ain't trotting out DeAndre Jordan or Boban Marjanovic. So like, that should be a massive upgrade. Should set a little bit higher of a floor for the games Joel misses and when Joel hits the pine. And yeah, man, it's pretty detailed. I think the injury thing is going to be frustrating as it is every year. That's really the first big injury Joel's had during the regular season for a long time. Like, normally he's nicked up, but I could pull up his game log real quick, but it feels like he plays 60 games. And I remember me and you talking about the over under last year, and we were kind of on opposite sides. And I was telling you, like, dog, if Joel plays 60 games, like, we are a 50-win team. Like, he's one of the best floor raisers in the regular season. He's one of the best floor raisers in the history of basketball. Now, he played 39 games last year, and we still won 47. So it's like, if Joel hits like 60 games, I imagine we're like a 50, 52 win team. We're right in the mix for a 2, 3, 4 seed.
But that's also the scary part too, because if you're a 47-win team and you miss that much time, that does mean you're a good team. But at the same time, if you had to me, you had a deeper roster. You have top end talent. We have a deeper roster last year, arguably. You bring in Paul George, and he's already getting hurt. Could y'all fall to a 42-win team? I'm not saying I can't see that happening unless y'all's season just completely falls apart. Because I even think Maxey is good enough to fucking solo win you like 4 out of 10 at least with those shitty players. But
I
it depends on the stretch as well during the season. Because sometimes like it's cool for a dude to get hurt and you play. They called him Mr. Bobcat Man for a month of the season. Like
Wizards
misses
Pistons,
those
man.
games. Yeah, it's like it's cool when he misses those games, but when it's the stretch against the Suns, the Mavs, the Heat, and the Celtics, you're like, God damn, like in the middle of the playoff race.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Like this was talked about on one of the pods I was listening to, and one of the guys was hinting at like, just let Joel sit against the Pistons and the Charlottes and then just let him play against.
No, because you can't lose those.
That's what I'm saying. You can't lose those, and 2, it's unrealistic to expect a team to build chemistry and build like habits if you're just trotting Joel out against Boston and New York. Like, and the schedule is probably not going to work out that way, right? It's not like the NBA is going to give me 2 weeks of Wizards, Pistons, Hornets, and then 2 weeks. Some of those road trips on the West Coast, like it'll be Phoenix, Lakers, Clippers. Like some of the patches are like that, where it's a couple bottom feeders and a couple contenders. But you can't just say, okay, sit against every Pistons, Hornets game and then play every Boston, Nugget, New York game. That's just not realistic, because then you're talking about getting to the playoffs with, like I said, 30 games of maybe less of a whole roster where you have defensive principles built in. You know how to play off each other. Like I know Joel talks about all the time, like continuity. He always points to Denver. He's like, look how long that core has been together before they started winning. And he's like, around me, we switch teams every year. And the one thing that we have going for us that I would say is, if you think Paul George is still a star, which I think he is, he's not a superstar. He's a star. He's probably the most malleable star in the NBA. Maybe Kevin Durant, but like he can play. He's fine sitting in the corner shooting 9 threes a game. Like he has that skill set, is what I'm saying. Like he's malleable. He doesn't need the ball at all times. He can maybe run an occasional high pick and roll, let him cook in the mid post on the the turnaround midi fades. But
I think that's why I dislike him.
Why?
Because he should be a top 5 player in the world, and I'm not saying right now.
No, he's missing some dog for sure.
I think that's why I dislike him, because he's like, I'll just play with it. I'd rather have an abrasive star like my guy. I got Jimmy, but any abrasive star like that, I think I would rather have that.
Because Joel will kind of front run sometimes. Like will. Like his body language will fucking wane when shit gets down. And Paul George is the exact same. Like he defers too much. Someone I was listening to the other day was talking about, well, if it was Steven Jackson, he was like, well, if Paul George can come in there and change his mentality and I'm like, that's not how he is, bro.
Fucking 34.
Yeah. Paul's going to have some games at the start of the year, bro, where he has like 7 shot attempts. Like, it's going to be and they have to go, Joel's got to go in the locker room and be like, yo, dog, like, we brought you here, like, put the pill up, like, shoot that thing. But Paul defers. And that's where Maxey comes in. Like, he's supposed to be this year the vocal leader, because Joel ain't talking that much. He's like, I lead by example. AKA, I dropped fucking 35 and 10. So that's been a topic too all off season. Like, is Tyrese your go-to offense in the fourth? And I actually think I've come around on that. Like, we've talked about this for a long time. It's just easier with a guard.
It's easier with a guard. And let's not bail out Joel with this, please. We're bailing out Joel by saying it's easier with a guard. All right.
We'll call it what it is.
Joel has had you can run the same defensive principle against him at the end of a game for fucking 7 years. Double him late, make him make a decision. That's literally the same thing. I don't even know it's that he can't read it. I don't know what it is a hole in his brain that he hasn't fixed. I don't know if he can at this point.
Yeah,
It's
because
just too far gone.
He said the game slowed down. He said he's seen every defense, but yeah, he's become a better passer. But to your point, the strategy has not changed at all.
No, it's the same thing. And it's so weird that
y'all in the shot clock.
No matter what coach you've had, they can't counter it.
Yeah, and so I guess when I say it's a good call by you, like when I say it's easier for a guard with this team, like with
you
that
are right.
with that guy being your best player, like
we agreed on this last year.
Yeah, like that Knicks series really changed everyone's brain. Like, Tyrese is like he might be Mr. like smile, like hug everyone, but that motherfucker he's a killer, bro.
Bro, he's a Kentucky guard, bro. Those guys are killers.
He's a killer, bro. Like he's hyper competitive. So I think that was when I told you last year that Knicks series hurt, but this is the most. I remember in a text I put to you and Landon, this is the most positive I've ever been going into an offseason because I felt confident that Tyrese Maxey can be the guy late in games who can run the offense, like be the primary of an offense late in games and close you out. And so I think it should be his show. Like, don't get crazy, right? Like, don't let Joel not touch the ball. Keep running your keep running the pick and roll set, like hit him with a pocket pass. But it can't be like I've seen every single year where it's that. Dump the ball to Joel at the elbow.
It's that.
They'll send the late double. He'll misread the cut. He'll throw it out of bounds. Like he gets a little hot potato with the ball. Like there's got to be some mental stuff going on.
Yeah, it's different when it's an elite passer at that high elbow. Yeah, like obviously Jokic and Bam and them.
Yeah, you can't.
It's a whole different game. You can't double him.
No, he will pick your ass apart. Yeah, Joel's not that level of a passer.
And it's just like, it's almost like he's looking to what I've seen. I watched the highlights like 2 months ago again. What I've seen is that he's looking to get into the spot that he's already in.
Yeah.
He's catching the ball at his, like, in between the box and the elbow.
Yeah.
He's in the space that he wants the ball in, but he's acting as if he needs to get to the spot. He, like, wants to dribble when he can. Yeah.
Like, he's not a quick decision maker.
Catch that. Yeah. And that's what I dislike as well. He's got to speed that game up. And it may not happen. And that won't be the bane of the 76ers. You have to find a way around that if you're a coach or the personnel. Like, the guys around him have to find a way around it. Get him moving more at the end of games. Get him running super high screens so the defense has to come all the way out. I don't know why they haven't done it.
Yeah, you can, like that game winner against the Knicks. Maxey's not pulling up from there in a regular, when the game is not at the very end. But, like, run that shit at half court. Like, guys, teams are going to have to treat him like they do Steph Curry, like they do Dame Lillard. Like,
yes.
And you give up.
We're not saying he's those guys.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It works.
He is, to me, a Dame level shooter. Maxey is already from three. I think there's like 4 guys who can hit those deep 28 off of Trae Young, Steph, Dame, Maxey. I think he
proved that more last year. The skyrocket of his 3-point, the development of that 3-point shot was almost baffling because you could tell first year and second year. The first year you didn't get anything, but I'm talking about first year of actually playing, getting burned, getting starter, being relied on. You could tell he could shoot that bitch.
Yeah,
but he wasn't getting enough opportunity to get,
and he wasn't confident enough. Yeah.
Yes, the confidence and the consistent touches to see where he liked the ball out on the 3-point line and shit in game. And then you see last year, and it almost seemed not flukish, but for him to keep that shooting pace for the entire season. Because all these dudes you'll see banana stats coming out at the beginning of the year. Mostly shooting percentage wise. But that 3-point shot that he had at the beginning of the year was, Tyler Hero was like the 5th leading scorer in the NBA for the first month of the NBA season.
Yeah,
so
I remember.
But him being that consistent last year just proved to me, like, holy shit. They got a future superstar on their hands. And it was actually just cool to see that because I fuck with Tyrese. So
I love Tyrese, bro.
I like all Kentucky guards. I don't know what it is. I've always liked Cal.
They're all hoopers. Yeah, they're all hoopers.
And they are. And obviously we've drafted 2 Kentucky guys that are cornerstones of the franchise with Bam and Tyler. But I think Maxey shot 37% from 3 last year. So his percentage dipped a little bit, but he took a big hit when Joel left the lineup. I would say eye test wise, And once again, like you said, dip when Joel leaves the lineup leads to more forced shots, more late shots in the shot
Yep.
clock, all
Yep.
that. And it's not a small amount. This is density in his
Yeah.
shot attempts. This
That's what I'm
isn't
saying. He was getting up almost 9 a game last year,
yes, this
probably.
isn't an
Yeah.
extra one shot. This is him shooting three more threes a game. Like
Yep.
it
Yeah.
isn't that
And like,
simple.
and he said, man, he was like, man, I saw boxing one last year. He was like, I didn't see boxing one in high school, dog. Like he was like,
Yeah.
the best thing that ever happened to my development arc was Joel going out last year. He was like, because I learned more about defense in that window than I ever have. So like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, you don't want to punt on a season to learn that, but we're here now, so it's good to
And I
hear.
think a underrated aspect of young guards, mostly scoring guards that are like Tyrese, people can develop playmaking. That
That's the
could
leap they're hoping comes from him.
yo
We'll see.
Donovan Mitchell. He was a point guard in college, but he was one of those Louisville Russ Smith point guards where they're
Yeah,
volume shooters. And he has become a fantastic playmaker in the NBA. You can develop playmaking. You
yeah,
can.
for
And
sure.
that could be the next step of Maxi's game that could take the 76ers to a whole nother level.
That's
Those are
what
the
they're
small,
wanting.
intricate things that people
Yeah,
really don't
that's what they're
rate
wanting.
properly.
I think he worked on 3 things in the offseason. The playmaking, obviously, like the short corner, because the pocket pass he developed in one offseason. Like he got with James Harden and Joe, and he was like, all right, how does Joe like the ball? So it's like incremental. And he's one of those guys where we always talk about development is not linear. With him, I've never seen it do. He has gotten better literally every. It's like at some point you're going to cap out, right? Like you can't do it for the rest of your career. But the 3 things he worked on, I think, were playmaking. He built his body up because he didn't want to be. He's still going to be the target on defense, right? Like if you're surrounded with 2 wings, PG and Embiid, that's just going to be what it is. But he got stronger. He worked on his playmaking, and then he's trying to develop a mid range because Nick Nurse talked about heavily against the Knicks how Tyrese wasn't getting foul calls that he thought he was earning, but he would just continually not read
Force
the
himself
game.
to the
Yeah,
basket.
so he would go to the rim and have high end collisions and throw shots off the glass, and it'd be a fast break going the other way. So Nurse talked about, I think, with him this offseason that you've got to have a counter. Like if those ain't getting called that game, you've got to have something you can go back to. You can't just go at the rim every time, even though it's probably his best skill. Still utilize your speed, but have a counter. So
Yeah.
we'll see what the mid range turns into.
I'm excited for y'all this season. I tune into y'all and the Mavericks all the time. So,
Yeah. One more thing before we hit you. I
yeah.
think PG is not a good playmaker. He's probably average, maybe even below average. But Maxey is one of those guards too, where we saw it with James Harden. He's probably more lethal off the ball than he is with the ball. And that's saying something. Because you're closing out on Tyrese. You have to. Like he's probably a 45, 50% shooter on catch and shoot shots. Then you can weaponize that speed on a closeout. The whole defense is in limbo.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, let's not get it twisted either. Despite everything we've talked about, the Joel plus minus, his struggles at the end of games. Say what you want about Paul George, playoff dropper. I know for a fucking fact he is light years ahead as a player than Tobias Harris. So if nothing else changed from our team and you simply pulled Tobias off it and put Paul George in there, that is a massive upgrade.
Is he better than play-in Batum?
Oh, no, Nico's special, bro. Bro, if Nico came back,
You would be way more. I think you would like your roster a
I'll be
lot.
saying some outrageous shit. I'll be saying some
Off of Nico Batum,
off Nico
is
Batum, bro.
crazy.
We were waiting on him, but his wife ended up wanting to go back to LA. I think Nico said Ty Lue saved his career, so I think they were waiting on him. And once they got word, that's when we signed Drummond, and they went.
He
on
did save his career, man. He got paid by Charlotte, and he went from one of the elite, like sought after defenders that looked like he could be a two-way player. Dude, didn't he record like the first 5-5-5-5 game in like ever?
He was such a good role player last year, but I would say, man, it's hard to predict seeding, right? Like what do you think? With the no back-to-backs, like I don't even know.
I think y'all will be in the lower seeds, not like 7, 8.
Even 3 seeds sounds crazy with all the, load management and.
Yeah, you never know with mostly in the East. because there's going to be teams like the Magic
That's
and
what I'm
the
saying. You're
Cavs.
gonna have some regular season tryhards who just ain't.
You're going to have young teams that are, and the Pacers, man, they're going to play all their guys every game. They're going to have one dude, two dudes miss 3 games or some shit. Like, and you see what happens like 2 years ago with the Kings. They literally had the best health luck in the league, and everybody thought they had a resurgence of a franchise. And it was just that, hold on, they were lit. All their starters played 78 games.
Yeah.
Like, that's what happens when you're healthy in professional sports. Like you said, everybody thinks their team is the only team, man. Everybody's bitching about their best players being out in the NFL. Bro, if you watch a fucking game, if you watch any other game than your game, they put out a laundry list. It is professional sports, bro. You are not the only fan base out here, dog.
Yeah, I caught myself doing that. My Lotto's on IR, so he's going to miss the Cowboys game. And I was like, fuck. Like, Micah's about to be rushing against the backup tackle. And I'm like, Dallas just went through a stretch with no D-Law, no Micah. Like, they don't really have a left tackle. Like,
yeah, bro. The Bucks went through it. We didn't have our starting right tackle. We didn't have Kalijah Cansey. We didn't have Antoine Winfield. Like,
you're a good enough coaching staff. You figure it the fuck out. Like,
you figure it out, bro.
It's the beginning of time. So I would say like the ceiling, probably 2 seed.
2 seed.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't think that's possible for y'all, but that's okay. And it's not because y'all are bad.
Yeah, I would say ceiling. Like if Joe just misses back-to-backs, not really sitting. I think talent alone could maybe scrum us there. But yeah, the more I think about it, it sounds like 4 or 5, which is crazy because I like talent-wise. You know what I'm saying? I think we are the second best team in the East, talent-wise, but I don't think the regular season standings are going to show that.
I don't know if I can argue because
do we have a chance fully healthy against Boston in the playoffs? Like to push them, to take it to 6, to beat them?
No. And that's not me being disrespectful. No, I just have
Boston, bro. I won't argue it either way.
My principle.
In your head, we got 2 playoff drop. Like
I'm also a principle guy with. Once again, as I'm getting into my 30s, I realize like it's not a franchise thing per se. It is your cornerstone player thing. Joel in 10 years, injuries or not, has not shown me anything that would make me think that he is incredible.
He could be the best player on a championship team.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
And I think he's a top 5 player in the world. That's what's weird.
Yeah,
it's just playoffs. His game doesn't translate into the playoffs as well.
Right.
And that's why people bitch about the free throws a lot, I believe. And that's why a lot of people, I don't think Joel's a free throw merchant. I'm not a child, a 17-year-old on Twitter that looks at box scores. I know how good he is, and I know that he has one of the best mid-range games in the NBA, if not the best.
That's the frustrating thing, too, is he could foul bait a little less. Like, you're too fucking good to always be looking for the swipe
yes,
through. Like,
and that's the thing when guys are looking for fouls. If you look traditionally at people that get fouled a lot or live at the free throw line, most of those guys they're playoff droppers.
Yeah, because the calls
it's just
change.
how it works.
Yeah.
Even Shea, like everybody was questioning Shea. He proved himself, but he had a couple games in there where you were like, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Yeah, but he was fucking dynamite against Dallas. Like I saw Tony and
he was incredible
on him after the Dallas series. I'm like, that's the only motherfucker that showed up. The whole team no showed.
Yeah, Lou Dort's over there fouling out every.
None
every
of them
game.
can hit a 3. Jalen Williams, I don't know what he averaged. I don't know, 10, 12. They all fucking no showed.
And we didn't even touch on OKC and how good they're going to be.
Oh yeah.
All right, time for my Heat rant.
Damn, I probably went for 30, bro. Fuck.
Probably an hour. No, I'm kidding. I don't really.
I'm excited though. This year.
You should be. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a fun year. I think y'all are just going to be just under a microscope. But y'all are going to have the bailout finally y'all have had the bailout of like after Joel's MVP. It's like, no, it's all about the postseason. Fuck the regular season. So y'all have that on y'all side for the national.
Yeah, there's no more like.
Yeah, the Philly panic is going to be there regardless from the fans.
This is the final. Okay, we'll probably trade for someone at the deadline, but this is the last iteration of this era. Like the process, like this is it. Like this is the team. This is Joel's last window. Like,
yep.
This is it. So
I believe it. All right, to the Heat. Heat fans, I love you to death, man. I really don't though. We have one of the, and once again, this is me talking about my fan base. I feel like we have one of the most bipolar fan bases I've ever seen. Dude, a month ago, this was the worst Heat roster we've had in the Jimmy Butler era. And for once, Kris, talking with you, I was against the grain. I'm like, no, this is the deepest roster we've had. I have been in on this roster since they said we're running it back. I never had a single complaint. All I said was, let's stop acting like we're moving on from people when we're not, but acting like we're moving on from people. Yeah. I'm never not going to believe in Tyler Hero. Do I think he is elite? No, but I think he's a very good NBA player. I think he's 20 a game as a third option on a playoff team, and people just like forget Terry Rozier exists.
I really do. I don't even know what to make of him. Yeah.
And dude, Jimmy, Tyler, Bam, and Terry only played 10 games together last year, man.
That's crazy.
They played 10 games together, and we gave up a first-round pick for that motherfucker. So that's one of the factors that nobody takes into consideration. And Terry Rozier isn't an injury-prone player. He plays a lot of games, a lot of nights, and mostly when he was in Charlotte, getting the usage rate of Russell Westbrook, he stayed healthy most of the year. So I'm in love with the roster right now. I'm not saying we're going to win a title, nothing like that. I would say the way that my team is constructed, just like a Philly team, right? We're going to have our bumps and bruises along the way. But now, instead of having undrafted free agents every night, and I've said this a million times, man, I know it's working. I know it is. It's because we have the best basketball mind in the sport.
Yep, that's facts.
And he can work miracles defensively and keep you in games, but you can't rely on these undrafted guys throughout an 82-game season, and then somehow we make it to the playoffs and then get to the second, third finals. You can't. So now, instead of just having undrafted free agents, we have proven undrafted free agents like a Haywood Highsmith, right? Is a guy that been all over the league, not really all over the league, but got moved around a little bit, 76ers to us, whatever. But the depth of the team with a guy, so the starting five is going to be, I don't know if it's going to stay like this, but it's going to be Terry, Tyler, Jimmy, Bam, Jovic. The people that are saying that Terry or Tyler has to go to the bench, I agree, but I think Tyler is best fit for a six-man. But
yeah,
I brought this up a million times. Everybody said Terry and Tyler was not working, when in fact Tyler was a more efficient version of himself in every game he played with Terry. Right. Every game. He had a higher shooting percentage. I think they were 10-3. The games that Terry and Tyler played together, I think they played 13 games total together. Damn. They were 10-3. And he was shooting 49%, 37 from three, dipped a little bit 3-point range, but he was better at every aspect because he changed his role. Y'all saying that Tyler Hero is a better playmaker than Terry Rozier, I have seen that tweet probably 25 to 40 times. And when I tell you I love Tyler Hero, it's not a fucking close one. Tyler Hero is 25 getting caught in the air in the NBA.
Yeah. It's got to be because he had that 1 or 2 game. Was it 1 or 2 against Boston?
Because he's forced to. His usage rate was like almost 30%.
Yeah.
And when he realized he couldn't move against Holiday, he's going to fucking pass, okay? But yeah, think about the bench lineup we have. So Khalil Ware.
Real quick on Terry. He hurt his neck against us in that regular season game?
Dude.
And then was never hurt?
Weirdest
That was
shit.
Some Kawhi, Middleton shit. I was like,
and
wait, where is
Terry?
Terry?
About how you don't hear peeps. Dude, I follow all teams that give nothing, dude.
Okay, the Sixers give updates. They're fucking false. The Heat do not release anything.
They're like, he'll play when he's healthy. When is that? We don't know.
Yeah, the Sixers are
Okay.
like knee soreness, and then it's like a fucking 2-month meniscus recovery. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
dude.
difference.
They didn't even. They said Terry Rozier was out with a neck. They didn't give a timeline. They didn't give anything. And then I look up, and he hasn't played for 4 weeks, and they have a picture of him in a neck brace. I thought he got in a car wreck after the fucking game. I'm like,
Legit.
yo, what the fuck happened to this guy? He got
That's
hit in the
crazy.
head one time on a 3-point shot. And now he's down for good. I didn't understand what happened, but the depth of the roster, I don't know how anybody can refute it. And everybody's talking about Heat legend, Heat legend, Heat legend. You keep all that troll shit away from me. I'm in my fucking about to be 30, bro. I ain't got time for that shit. Hame, Alec Burks, Haywood Highsmith, Khalil Ware is going to be the best as a rookie. He is Bam's best backup big that he's ever had.
So he's straight backing up the 5, right? Start the year. Like
Yeah.
he's going to get run. Yeah.
And dudes, this is that shit we're talking about. Dudes are on Twitter when Khalil Ware is killing it in the summer league like they're not all second round picks. Guys, you have to realize there's only 30 first round picks. Okay? What do you think is out there when you're running in the summer league?
Yeah. Summer league overreaction's got to chill.
You have 300 players out there in the summer league. There's only 30 first round picks, bro. That's if every team has 10 players, not even 12 or 15. Yes, he's going to fucking kill it. He's a first round draft pick. All right.
The only time I'm overreacting to summer league is when you're Alex Sarr. Then I'm like, all right, this guy just fucking sucks.
Bro.
That fucking 0 for 15, whatever that was.
God.
All right, so your top 10 is Bam, Jimmy, Tyler, Terry, Jovic.
Yep.
And then it's Jaime, Alec Burks, Khalil, Duncan, Kevin. What about? So is Khalil getting straight PT back at 5 over K Love and Thomas Bryant, like from the rip?
I would have to say yes. And if not,
I can't see Spo phasing out K Love at the start of the year.
Yes.
But maybe I'm wrong. You know it better than I do.
I was gonna say, if he
what about too big? What about like I've heard some like, oh, with Bam's improved shot, we can play him with Ware.
All right. This is what I was going to get to. These motherfuckers were tweeting that Khalil Ware should start next to Bam. This is what we've been wanting. Bam playing the 4. And I'm just like, dog, no, it isn't, because then it makes everything Bam does on defense not null and void. And I understand Bam would be insane in the floater position as we saw in the Olympics. Mm-hmm. But, dude, taking Bam off the main pick and roll guy makes his impact on defense lessen by so much. I don't think people understand how much it would lessen it. If he's in the corner guarding a guy that's a 3-point shooter and he has to stay close, and you can obviously switch him over, but I don't want Khalil Ware guarding a smaller guy either.
Bam's a top 3 defender in the world. For anyone that see. I think it's Drew, AD, and Bam in no order.
It's kind of crazy that AD is still that good at defense with how depleted his body is. I just didn't understand the want for the starting position, and that is the youth on Twitter talking, so they see something new and they want the shiny new toy.
Yeah, for sure.
Already. And y'all have to realize, guys, we saw this shit with every young player that the Heat have ever had. Okay? Do you remember Tyler Hero balling out ever his rookie year? Name the Celtics game. Take the 37-point away.
Yep.
Did you remember him coming in and he was averaging LeBron numbers in the summer league? Dead ass. He was like 24, 6 and 6. Yeah. And he didn't get burned at all.
Yeah. NBA games
way different. Pop up in the starting lineup. Like, use your fucking brains if you got one, bro.
Yep.
And pick a side.
Biggest mistake we do is overrate rookie.
Yes.
Rookies don't impact. Yeah, they just don't.
Yeah, the Mavs got lucky with Lively, bro. It's a fact.
Yeah,
It's the fact that they threw him in there, and they threw him in there out of desperation, out of injury, out of necessity. They threw them in here. Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell. What the fuck else are you turning to, bro?
Yeah, let's fucking try it.
And then next thing you know, he pops up. That's what happens, and that's when rookies start balling out. Or a Benedict Mathurin is coming into a situation where They don't know. They don't even know what they have. And the Pacers are such a young team that they were throwing Nimhard in there when they could. They were throwing him in there when they could, and they run so much that he's going to shine eventually.
Yeah, I was about to say those two situations too are unique. Like those don't exist.
Super unique. They're running a wreck offense in Indiana. So
they're fucking juicing up everyone's offensive numbers in Indiana. And then Derek Lively, who maybe he has skill going forward. He's playing with Luka fucking Doncic. Like
he's going to get you a layup at the rim like he did.
The best lob passer in the world, probably.
Yes. And with Khalil, y'all have to realize too, what did I say every time Precious Achiuwa was on the floor his rookie year, Chris? He don't know the fucking play.
I still don't think he does.
He would catch the ball and be like, wait, fuck, I don't even know I'm supposed to have the ball right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he would look for somebody, and then Spo's over there having a goddamn fit. If y'all think Khalil Ware can learn the intricacies of the rotations of Eric Spoelstra in one offseason, you have lost your fucking minds, okay? What I'm really projecting is end of season, Khalil Ware is going to get much more burn because it doesn't make any sense to have Thomas Bryant and Kevin Love out there. But you know what didn't make sense last year? Having Kevin Love and Thomas Bryant out there. And you know what I saw every fucking night? Kevin Love and Thomas Bryant.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I saw.
These coaches don't fucking care. They don't see what we see.
And you know what? This is another thing, and I'm almost done. If I have to keep begging the Heat, like, you can get a veteran player, bro. You can get an Alec Burks. Alec Burks is not fucking 40. Yeah. I understand you want veteran players. You can get a 32-year-old that's a veteran. You can get a 33-year-old. A 31-year-old is a veteran player. You don't have to get the fucking ancient guy.
It doesn't have to be Kyle Lowry, 38, whatever.
Kevin Love can't I've never seen a defender that bad on a Heat roster, I don't think.
Bro, we were starting Kyle Lowry in the playoffs last year because we had
Dwayne Dedmon, maybe. He was a foul machine.
Oh my God. Don't get me fucking started on Dwayne Dedmon, dog. I will lose my fucking mind.
Chris Silva, maybe. Chris Silva was a decent dude. The backup bigs we've had for fucking for Bam.
Bro, we could make a all shit backup.
Me and you together could make a crazy ass list of backup centers we've seen for our elite centers. I have never seen anything. They have disrespected Bam. Like, he can't sit the fuck down. But yeah, that's basically all I got. Like, Heat fans, y'all need to just shut the fuck up. Watch the games. We're going to bitch and moan. Oh, and another thing. Goddamn, I can go all day too. The one thing that I've seen in the preseason, bro, I am not kidding. You know, I have never said this in my life. We've evolved on offense, bro.
I hope so, bro. Because I know you know this. Y'all's half court, it's like unwatchable in the past.
You don't I hope it's not a fluke. The ball movement and the player movement.
Y'all have any like new big staff members, or it's like
no? The thing is that Spo was and the thing is, when Spo speaks, I listen, obviously, but he words things the way he wants to word them. He literally is on the podium, and when he gets a question, he waits a couple seconds. Yeah, the one thing that stuck out was we're expecting much bigger things from Bam. I told you I think Bam's going to take another leap because I think everything's going to run through him in a different way. Like it already does, but in a different way. And then he said, as a coaching staff, we can't sit here and get content. We have to evolve offensively. And then the first two preseason games, dude, I have never seen us go from one corner, take a screen, swing it all the way around, and then get a pick and roll and work it all the way back around off passing, no dribbles. I haven't seen that unless it's like a one-off possession. Mm. And that's the thing. We have so many skilled guys. We should be running a Spurs-like offense, which is hard to teach, obviously, but I think Spo could get him in. I understand. We have four dudes that basically do the same shit. Bam stands still, and he dribbles, and he shoots, or he goes to the cup. Tyler, Jimmy, Terry. They all do. I'm not saying they play the same, but their play style is ISO, dribble, 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 shoot. That is what it is. And the way that we're using them and utilizing their off-the-screen movement shooting ability and kind of getting the defense to move to Tyler, like how we said we would last year, and treat him like a Klay Thompson of sorts, where you're worried about him off ball at all times.
Yep.
I see that. I see it, and I want to see what happens because I know us. We're gonna fall back into it. We're gonna get a Jimmy fourth quarter, or the one thing that pisses me off the most before we wrap this up is 4 possessions in a row where Bam stands there with the ball at the elbow. He hasn't even turned his body to the fucking basket yet.
Yeah.
And he's just like, who's open? Who's open?
Yep.
Bro, you've had it for 14 seconds. Do something.
Yeah. It's like trying too hard to be a hub.
Yeah. It's like, do something with it. Shoot, pass, something. Move it.
Yeah, you're good enough. Go do something.
I scream at my TV 82 games a year, man. And I'm so glad multi-view is on NBA League Pass. I will be fucking cracked out of my mind. I'm going to have 3 screens with 4. I'm going to watch the whole slate at once.
I'm saying, dude, that's what I've been doing basically. I got the quad on the big side screens. I'm like, bro, I'm hitting legit the whole fucking slate.
Yeah. I'm going to be naming the 13th guy off the Charlotte bench this year.
For real. Like 2 texts in a row will be like, dog, did you see Nolan Traore? And the next one will be like, dog, Trey Murphy.
Yo, did you see Camp this week?
Yeah.
He's fucking going nuts. Yeah.
Shit is crazy.
That type of shit. That's the type of time I'm on this year.
I'm excited as fuck, bro. All right, so I guess before we wrap up, can we do like East-West finals champ?
Let's do it.
The West. Man, it's hard not to take OKC. Any dark horse in either conference or nah?
I hate to say it. I don't like to be the chalk guy, but I mean, no. This year is very weird in the NBA where we had a lot of parity. It's kind of coming back down to earth where, like I said this 3 years ago on my podcast. I told y'all, I'll show a screenshot on this clip. I said the super team was dead, not in the way that everybody else was saying it. I was saying the role players and talent has gotten so good. You literally can't have one deficiency on the floor. Yeah, and
it's great. The league needs a fucking expansion, bro. There's too many good players now.
There is so many great players on the NBA court. Like Jalen Williams should not be like a second option and a third option on certain nights.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
But I think that it's going to be, to me, I'll just say it. Dang, I don't know who I want in the West. I'll go OKC Mavs. I'll do it. OKC Mavs. OKC goes to the finals. I don't even know who to pick in the East. I think Miami could get there this year, if you want me to be honest. I think that we weigh up with everybody. I think we're good matchups with everybody that we would face outside of the Celtics. And even with the Celtics, we got enough bodies this year to actually keep up with them. And this is all if we're all healthy and stuff. I'll pick the Heat to go to another conference final.
I just hope we avoid. I'm not trying to see fucking Spo in the playoffs, bro. That shit. I don't know. I got some PTSD. He's like one of those, bro. He knows how to piss off Joel. Like, nah. Give me someone who can't fucking defend. Like, give me fucking Indiana, bro. Like, just let me fucking.
Yeah, at one point in that series, Dwayne Dedman was such in the doghouse. We didn't care at all because Bam was getting kind of tore up by Joel for like a segment of a quarter. And Joel was whooping it's Joel. He's going to whoop your ass even if you're elite.
Yeah, he does to everyone.
We put Dwayne Dedman in and we fouled the dog shit out of Joel like 4 possessions in a row, pulled him out, and Dwayne didn't see another minute. He was just like whack. Just
use your fouls, bro. That's what we need you for.
Off his ass.
Bro, I don't know if I want to get this spicy or if I'm trolling.
Come on, get spicy. Come on.
All right,
we gotta get clicked somehow. We can't have legitimate basketball talk.
True.
Give me the Magic in 4.
Indy to the chill. Let's run it.
Paulo.
All right, so I don't know, man. Can I put Denver in the West Finals after all I just shit on them? I have to say, gun to my head, I'd probably go OKC Denver.
Okay.
But if I'm trying to get clicks and something I maybe want to see, I'm going to go OKC Memphis, bro.
Okay.
Put Memphis in there. I got OKC going to the finals out of the West. The East.
To help your point, once again, we talked about this 3 hours ago. Teams draft to beat the best player in the conference,
Yep.
and they got Edie for a reason. He may not be able to move on the outside, but we'll see.
No, it's true, bro. Think about that is a good point. Like, think about how many teams in the West are like trying to pivot to double big. OKC did the same shit.
That's why it doesn't make any sense with the Lakers how they got rid of that bubble team, because they had three legit bigs. Dwight Howard was a good big, and JaVale, dude, they split. I told y'all, my whole thing is give me 36 from the main guy, 32 to 36 from the main guy and AD. Give me 6 and 6 from the other bigs. Let them have their fouls. Let them get their dunks. Let them play, give good contests, and have energy. That's all I want.
Yep. Yeah, they just can't bleed points. Yeah, I don't know. I think Memphis is going to have a huge year, bro. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm overselling them, but of course, Jaren's got to get on the court. Jaw's got to stay on the court. But
with Jaw on the floor, it's something there, bro. Obviously.
He's just fun as fuck, bro. Maybe it's because I watched that 2-minute highlight reel today. I'm like, damn, I can't wait to watch him. Yeah, I don't think Phoenix has the juice.
I'll never believe in KD.
Minnesota, I don't know what to like. I don't know. I just want to watch them play. I don't know what it is.
Because I wouldn't have thought they would have made it last year either.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we could talk our shit on Cat all we want, but Cat on Jokic with Rudy behind, that shit worked.
Why does that work?
I have no idea. I don't know why.
How the fuck can Cat not guard a mid-level 4?
Yeah, I don't know why Cat plays him better than Rudy. Because Rudy can't fucking guard him to save his life. Like, Cat's just like solid, straight up. Rudy's like too much like limbs and like. The same reason he gets fucking fried by. That's why when people talk about Gobert, 4-time DPOY, I'm like, no. Like I can name you. I can name fucking 10 guys that guard you well better than that dude. I get it's like, rim deterrence. Like, it's not a one-on-one thing, but yeah, I'm going OKC, Memphis in the East. Damn, it's almost pointless to ask me for an East prediction because I swear to God, when I fill out the playoff bracket, it's like Boston, Philly every year. And I'm like, no, this year we pass them. This year we pass them. I mean, I got Boston going to the chip. Like,
me too.
Like, I'm not going to get I'm not rooting for it at all. And this way, if they don't get there, I can I'll just hate watch the whole year. Man, it really, like, I don't want to get too in the weeds, but it does depend on seeding, right? Like, if Philly's, if we fall into the 4 or 5, we're meeting Boston round 2. It's like, well, we ain't making a conference finals again.
Yo, in as much as we shit on Milwaukee, bro, I don't want to see them in a first round. I don't want Giannis in a first round playoff series.
I'm not trying to see Milwaukee. That's all I'm saying.
No.
I don't see them at all. Yeah, so it really just depends. If we're the 4 or 5 and we have to see Boston, I don't like that at all. But, like, if we could slot in, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe see y'all second round, New York second round, that'd at least be fun. I want to play New York again because that series just had so much fucking juice.
It did.
I'll go Boston, Philly. Fuck it. Boston, the chip. OKC in the chip. OKC, Boston. I'm trying to picture it like actually out on the court.
I think they're mocking each other. Like they are each other in different ways.
Yeah.
Scoring point guard versus defensive point guard, defensive wings versus offensive and defensive wings.
But who?
And obviously Jay Will's more of a scorer, but I just mean in general.
I just don't know if OKC has enough. Fuck, they got Caruso now too. Fuck. That team is loaded, bro. OKC is loaded. Because they're starting who? Shea?
Do you want to hear this rotation?
Yeah, Shea, Chet, J-Dub. I don't know if iHeart will start with Chet. I might be matchup dependent. I don't know.
And iHeart got hurt too. He broke his hand.
He's out like 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got SGA, Caruso, Lou Dort, Chet, Kaysen Williams, J Will 2, and Hartenstein. Bro, that team is fucking 8-9 deep.
Yeah, I forgot about Lou Dort. Yeah, he'd be good in a Celtic series for sure.
Versatile, can play both guys, and Tatum does not like aggressive defenders.
No, his shot's got to fall, but yeah, Casey Wallace is a damn good defender too. He's a little bit probably too undersized for those wings, but I mean, to be quite frank, Shea's the best player on the court in that series.
I agree.
Right? I think comfortably. I think Shea's the best player on the court.
I think Shea is getting to the point where it's like he's underrated now, where he got risen into the top 5 last year, and everybody's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But you just said he was underrated. No, he is, bro.
They always want everyone
30 a
to slow
game
down.
with that efficiency.
Yeah. They always want everyone to slow down when you're bringing someone else into the convo, and it's like, no, I saw what I saw. Like,
I'm not going to be a year late on Wemby. He's a top 10 player to me right now. I don't give a fuck.
What Shea did against Dallas, he had to have averaged 36, and I swear to God, his entire team no-showed, all of them. No one could hit a 3, and they still were a weird double clutch foul on PJ Washington in the corner from going to 7. Now Luka played like shit in that series too, but I mean, I probably have to go Boston, bro. I think they're the best team.
Yeah,
in the league
I can't. I mean, they survive without Porzingis, man.
Yeah, that's the thing with them too. Like, that's why they're locked for the 1 seed. Like, they're all fucking interchangeable. Derek White goes out. Okay, you got 3 other motherfuckers who can dribble, drive, shoot. Tatum goes out. Jaylen Brown goes out. Porzingis is probably the only like true mismatch piece. And I think Cornet's going to start, because I don't know if they want to put the miles on Al Horford.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, so they still got Horford. Like, surely he won't have as much juice in the tank. You could see it start to slip defensively last year, but he's still a useful. Like, he spaces the floor at this point in his career. He's still smart as fuck.
Yeah, I'd go Boston winning the chip again.
Yeah, they're the best team. They brought back everyone. I don't see any reason why that would change. And it's not like we got to see them ever get tested.
And when Porzingis was in that finals, man, it was a complete mismatch. That's the thing. When he played, it didn't matter if he was playing well or not. He's just such a threat with his size that it makes the defense panic.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't see the Celtics get tested, but they did get the healthy Mavs in the finals, and they boat raced them. So
and I still think there is another jump the Celtics can take. They still have a lot of off-ball stuff that they can work on with Tatum and Brown. And to me, it's more Jason Tatum. I don't think he's ever going to develop that. I really don't think he's going to be some elite off-ball player. Jaylen Brown is amazing off-ball. He has that D-Wade in him where he can play with another star because he's always cutting, rim running. And
he's another malleable star too. Yeah.
He don't get enough credit for what he did last year. He was fucking unbelievable. And your take of Jaylen Brown, the window or the space between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum ain't that big. Your take is coming into fruition right now.
That might be one of my best takes, bro, ever.
Yeah.
Because at the time, that shit was not seen like that.
And I can't judge Celtics fairly. I think I can't. Like, dude, that is, and you really can't either, kind of. No. But the way that I hate the Celtics is unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. Like 80% of that was like a bit because I fucking hate Jason Tatum, and I think he's one of the most fortunate superstars in history with the teams that he's been given.
Yeah,
but that's fine. It ain't his fault.
Yeah,
but I don't think the funniest thing about Boston is whether they play OKC, Denver, Dallas, or Minnesota. I don't think Boston has the best player in the series against any of those 4, which is crazy. Yeah. I think Ant's better than Tatum.
Yeah, I agree.
It's probably closer, much closer with Ant than the other 3, Jokic, SGA, or Luka. But yeah, it doesn't matter because they're fucking 2 through 5 they're better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even matter.
All right.
Yeah, I go Boston. Unfortunately,
we got Boston winning the chip. We streamed for 3.5 hours till 2 a.m. I'm about to piss myself.
Same.
Thank you, Kris.
Yeah,
I will be texting you tomorrow in the morning when the England game starts. I'll be up and ready.
8:30. Get up there.
Yes, sir. Whoever watched, man, all 12 viewers that are in here right now, I don't know how you up listening to our stupid asses talk, but I love you very much.
In right now?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Y'all go subscribe. I'm going to, after every Heat game, I have a thing where I'm not going to hold myself to it, but I want to. I think I'm going to make a video after every single Heat game, giving a diagnosis on it, and go from there. So
that's something.
All right, guys.
For, bro. Because I always drop these like tweets to myself. They get no likes, no, just like I'm like that'd be fun. We should do like some do these
weekly
again,
thing. Honestly,
as the season progresses.
Yeah,
we could do like a late Saturday or discuss the weeks. I don't know the week slate. NBA is hard because there's games like every other night, sometimes 3 and 4 nights, but Yeah, we
Yeah.
just set something up, kind of rehash.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, we're out. Peace.
Peace.